shared it to Steve.
Alrighty, guys, we are back, and again, I'm sitting down with the boys from PMG Studios. Let's start off over here to my stage left.
Hey.
Scotty Polk.
Yep.
What's up?
What's going on?
What's going on?
We just it's been a pretty busy week already. It's Monday, so we got a lot of things coming up.
I was gonna say I came in. You're like, we gotta do all these things first.
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap this up in about an hour.
I think
get
11,
this all
11
set up,
we have somebody here,
and we're gonna talk more about that, which was awesome.
Cool.
And he's the mastermind. He's got the bald head.
I'm like the second maybe.
I'm starting to figure it out now.
All right.
It's like launching a nuclear missile over here. It's like,
Yeah.
come on. It's like I need two people
be
to
the
push
right
it
timing,
with me, right?
That's right. All right, and to our middle here, sandwiched between the ladies, Mr. Hunter Cook.
It happens.
It happens. I play with this guy. That's what he gets. Lots of farts.
It's fairly accurate, though. Like, let's be honest.
So accurate.
Actually,
So
I
accurate.
have to put this out here. You're one of the best smelling dudes that I have to sit here and play next to, even when you're sweaty. So thank you.
Multiple farts.
Thank you so much.
That's the only button that matters.
That's it. I feel like that button's going to get a lot of use. So
I didn't push a button. What are you talking about?
There's actually a mic down here.
Yes.
It's the kick drum mic, because the drums are behind us. But yeah, it's like behind my posterior.
My God.
Posteriors. Of course, posterior. Of course, and Hunter Cook, of course, drummer, but he also does video. He helps out around here.
I help out around here, yes.
Get into that a little bit. How's your week?
It's good. Monday feels like, I don't know. There's like 8 days in the week now, so.
Yeah.
So fart day is one of them.
Fart day's every day.
Flatulence day is another day.
Every day's fart day.
All right.
Always comes back to that.
All right.
Yes.
And we're in a room full of dudes. All right. To my right is Jeff Wright.
Hello.
Hello. And he is the one playing with the buttons over here. So if anything goes wrong, it's his fault.
I didn't know what I'm supposed to do with this thing. I thought we'd up the production value. Actually, we'd subtract from it.
Yeah.
And of course, guys, we are here live, and this is very exciting because it's the first time we've been off-site. So this is
cool.
awesome.
It's good to
Thank you guys for
Yeah.
having us
Glad
out.
to be a part of it.
This is a really cool thing you guys have going on right now. So I want to really get into what you're doing because I feel like this is like the best kept secret.
Oh, well.
So what do you guys do here? What is it all about? What do you want to do with this?
Which one of you guys want to do this one? You want me to do it?
You start.
Okay.
Because there's so much.
Right. First off, this chair.
I was going to say, you're squeaky over there, man.
Okay.
The studio effect.
So that wasn't a sound effect. That's just this chair. No, so what we do is we try to get, right now everybody is so distanced and everybody has to go on webcams. Not everybody has the sort of setup that, I feel like really can deliver the message for, music or anything they're doing spoken word, or they're trying to say, hey, look at our brand new products.
Podcast.
Podcasts.
Yeah.
Look at all this, podcasts too, yeah. And, music's such an emotional thing, and I think that these little webcams, when you're sitting at home and you've got your bed behind you, and like your mom's doing your laundry right in the behind, it doesn't really fit that sort of thing. You're not delivering the right thing for your product. I think it's good to put your best foot forward at a given time, whether you're writing a song or anything at all. And I think that right now everybody just thinks, oh, cool, I'll just hit Zoom and use my little laptop camera. We use some pretty big cameras around here.
Yes. And by the way, all of the cameras that you guys are seeing here with the different angles, that's all these guys. So just to give you an idea, these are awesome cameras.
Looks
We're
good.
getting multiple angles. This entire backdrop right now with the logo. This is all them. This is amazing stuff that they're doing right now. So
It can be yours.
It can be yours for the right price. But it's really amazing what you guys are doing here, and I love the attention to quality.
Yeah, we could do these podcasts or any sort of interview with 4 cameras. We only set up 2 today because we're kind of time crunched and we want to really try to do this a little different. And you get to work with your client and kind of come up with what makes sense for what they're trying to put out. And Amy came in and says, "Hey, this is what I usually do," and I'm like, "Hey, cool. Let's see if we can add our thing on top of that." So within an hour, I think we got it figured out. So we got 2 cameras up, but we could do
Let us know.
2 more. 2 more.
All right, I'm just saying hi to all you guys out there. Remember, this is also a chat room, so you guys can let us know. You got questions for these guys, please feel free to shoot them to me, and I will make sure that I ask them all these questions. All right, who wants to take the next part? Where do you see this going? What's the future for it? Do you guys think expanding, or are you kind of like, what's kind of the plan?
Well, we got I'll tell you what, I've been talking enough. You guys go ahead.
Yeah.
Go to your pad.
Yeah, we're thinking about
Well, he is an angel, so it makes
Angels are
sense.
singing.
so we're
It's still going. It's still
you
going.
just talk over it or you
How long
stop?
is this, Jeff?
Sorry.
It's your choice. It's free country.
I got you.
Wait, second movement's coming. Oh, no, that's it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, in the future, we're thinking about maybe getting like
Angels?
maybe getting a whole house and turn it into a studio, or get a warehouse. You know, with something we could put like
Awesome.
you know, the walls, like green wall, white wall, whatever you want. Just have like multiple rooms. We can have like a band room with a stage or whatever, you know. So
We got
hopefully-
a church that rents from us on Sundays, and Atlanta Worship Ministries. If you guys haven't checked them out, they're really great.
Yeah.
Ruben, if you're watching,
yeah, you should check that
What
out.
up, Ruben?
What's up, buddy?
Let me send.
Yeah, he's really, really working hard, and he comes in here, and if you ever want to see how this whole operation works for live streaming, you can see it there. We do have a full back line. We have piano, we have a drum set, we have bass amp, we have basses, we have guitars, we have a whole bunch of microphones.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, we want to make sure that musicians can really
So
come in here
tempting, isn't it?
and deliver a live stream that's really, really awesome. So and Ruben's a great example of. He comes in here. He probably comes in, shoots 3 or 4 hours a week, and puts out an episode. And you know, hopefully in the future, maybe think about doing some sort of big production with him there. You know, and see if maybe we can get him. You know, a bigger place, bigger stage, bigger everything. You know, so we'll see.
Bigger is better.
Bigger.
Yeah, well, we'll say that getting into this business, like slap in the middle of a pandemic, was definitely a roll of the dice, you know. But I will say that the need is out there, and we are musicians at heart. So, you know, serving the community was the first thing that totally came to mind, and we've done a lot of that. You can find all that stuff on Instagram and Facebook.
I
And
was going to say, by the way, all of these guys are amazing musicians. Make sure you check them all out. So they all have projects going on. The Riot, which is a riot. The Riot is a riot. And a couple other projects, of course. Check these guys out. They're all musicians, so I feel like your heart's in the right place. Like, I feel like this had to be something that we needed, and there was a void that wasn't really available, and you guys are doing it. You know, getting promo material. That's what leads an artist into a gig, hopefully, that's going to lead them into, hopefully, the rest of their career, or maybe going viral, or, you know, whatever it is. But being able to do that where you're local, here to Atlanta, and that you're reasonable priced, and that you're workable, you're awesome to work with, and that's a big deal.
You know, another thing is any musician too is it's like, hey, I'd like to book a show here, and the first clapback is, let me see your videos.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have that
first
lined
thing
up,
they ask,
and even a lot of people don't take. It's a passive sales pitch. I mean, you could be in bed at 3 a.m. and someone's like, hey, I stumbled across this video.
Yep.
You guys are awesome. I've got to have you for this event or this private party. And I feel like anybody who puts that out there, that gives you the extra edge on maybe somebody who doesn't have that.
Even
And I'll even say, too, to the point, in addition, is like, even if you're known locally, people are still asking for these promo videos, even if they know, like, your name. So, like, even if you're, okay, I played in all these bars, or I played Tabernacle, I've played whatever.
Great, let me see the links.
Yeah.
That's all I
They're
ever
still
hear.
asking for these links, and that's what's interesting to me, because I feel like that's a difference and a change in sort of how the music community and the booking has happened.
well, it was coming anyways. Like before you could even like step foot in the door, if you had anything that was worth anything, a booking agency would always want to see what they're getting themselves into before they hire you.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
what
And-
better way to do that than with a just, you know,
Right, and it
Video promotion.
come in doing it. Doesn't have to be that crazy. Doesn't have to be a full band on a 50 fireworks and whatever.
we do that.
But they do that. Do we have fireworks, Jeff?
We don't really have the licenses for that.
We
yeah.
have the pad though. They can make that happen, right?
Yeah, we can make the sound.
You can make that happen.
got
And
lights.
All right.
yeah.
Note to self: up our insurance.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, another thing I was going to say is I think I've discovered more artists ever off of YouTube. And, just not like just listening, like not like a photo of an album cover. And I watch a lot of these live stream shows like Audio Tree and stuff like that. I've discovered so many great musicians off there, and so many great musicians on any of these platforms. And I think that's really the future. It's like, I'll stumble across somebody on Spotify every once in a while, but I really get a lot out of YouTube. I pay for the YouTube service because I hate when commercials get in the middle of a song. So, I'd rather just help, musicians get their videos out there. Someone might see your incredible guitar solo on the back end of that song and say, wow, what a great guitar player he is, or what a great drummer that person is, what a great singer is, and you attach the face and the name, and it's that it wasn't in a studio where somebody did that over and over and over and over. That just shows your raw talent, and that's what these videos are great for.
We just have Ruben comment.
I was gonna say, we have Ruben.
Love you guys. So.
Said love you guys. It was good to meet you. Also, I will say, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but interestingly enough, I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about sort of the halftime show and sort of the legacy that goes on with the halftime show.
Great one this year.
But also this concept of how we're consuming music is different. It's changed, and it has to have a visual aspect. When people are consuming, and this is also where The Weeknd comes in, so we'll talk a little bit more about what all that's about. But the idea, and a lot of people brought this up, which I thought was interesting, was that we consume music now through face first and then the music. So it's about the digital, it's sort of about what goes along with the visual aspect. Which is one of the reasons why, of course, we switched over to YouTube. So now we're on YouTube, of course. And we are finding some amazing people on YouTube that it's a different platform, different group of people, but it's really cool. Now you guys do music videos. What else do you do? I know you do a bunch. So what's
audio
the
recording.
spectrum?
We have a whisper room booth. If anyone wants to track vocals, we can do that. He can do mixing, a lot of mixing and stuff that Jeff does. So if you have a track and you need it mixed, he's usually pretty good at that. So.
Voiceover stuff, ebook reading. If you're a comedian and you have some captions you want to toss on a video, like we do video editing.
Yeah.
You can literally anything.
You can do drum lessons here if you want.
I have done drum lessons here, and I will be doing them in the future. We do drum cover videos.
We've done guitar lessons
stuff.
Here.
Literally anything. I just hit us up, or find the links, or hit up Amy at Sonicsphere. We're all connected, and worst thing we can say is probably.
Probably.
Actually, yes, I agree with you on that one. We got Sarah Nova too,
she
real
said
quick.
no super
Sarah
chat
Nova,
button.
Good to hear from you. And Sarah Nova's been on our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun too.
That was fun. We actually got, and I have to say, another thing about this whole thing is sort of the social media and the whole promoting the artist. Sarah Nova is one of those artists that has gone above and beyond. Her episode is one of our highest viewed episodes.
Nice.
So that goes into, of course.
Yeah, she rules.
Yeah, it goes into
Not biased,
being
though.
out there, being present, and sharing, and again, it's all connected. It's networking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's putting it out there, and you need this content. So that's really what it's about, right? Creating content that's quality content.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Never know who's gonna run over your stuff and say, I would love to work with you. I'd love to see if you never know what the opportunities that could come from just putting something out there. The other thing is when you play a show, whether it's in front of 10 or 15 or 100 people, once it's over, it's over. Those 100 people move on, and hopefully they didn't drink too much and forgot everything that happened that night. But if they,
That's my kind of show.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm just saying, eventually, it would be nice to take some of that with you at the end of it. So.
Well,
we also
having
do
that digital footprint, they can see it over and over and over and over and over again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Super chat button. You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Where's the super chat button? See, I'm learning as well.
That's what I was telling you about earlier. To add, it's kind of a cool.
Super chat. Yeah, you were talking about. So this has also taught me, sort of with COVID, obviously, with shutting everything down, and doing this podcast. We're actually marking a year. This podcast has been out for a year.
Yeah.
Thank you, my little.
thank you.
Thank you, my little humans. And so it's a pretty big deal that I'm past a year. I couldn't even believe it. I looked at the last episode and I was like, holy shit.
So you basically this is almost your anniversary.
We are one episode past.
Oh wow! So it's 40. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
pretty
Considering
awesome.
you did that during a pandemic, which is a good time to learn some new stuff.
Right. So I was
Just ask
all
anybody
right.
up here.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, all right, so how do I reinvent myself? How do you have to reinvent yourself? And I feel like we're all we're in that same spot where you guys were like, we're gonna jump into this video production company, so last minute, and learn so much. What are some of the challenges that you guys have kind of come across by doing this?
Ooh.
That list is long.
Well, I guess trying to
That's
get.
what I was guessing.
Well, one of the things is trying to reach out to customers because everybody's dealing with the same thing from last year. So not everybody has the time to go out or whatever because everything going on. So just trying to find.
So how long if somebody was to reach out to y'all and they want to do a promo video, they want to do like, what is the period of time? What is the way that they do that? What is that? Walk me through that.
I'll tell you what. Let's give the Craig. He's the Elton John tribute guy.
Yeah.
This is a great example. So, who would have thought in 2020 you can play a concert right here? So he came full dress up as the Elton John guy.
Yeah.
He played 3-4 songs, and it was aired live at a convention somewhere on the West Coast.
I think,
Yeah, so on the West Coast. And it was a company that threw together a large production for their employees as like a morale boosting sort of thing, or maybe it was a convention or whatnot. But he did a gig right here in this room, but also in California. And he didn't have to leave his hometown. He didn't have to get on a plane. He didn't have to get the band together, fly across the country or drive across the country. He didn't have to set up over there and be in a strange town. He did it right here. And what a great thing. And I keep hearing more stories of bands doing that now, where their brand identity is now being used to like, well, we love your song. We want your song to represent our company at our convention. Can you do a live stream concert? And people are doing it. And it's instead of having, what if touring in the future always in little rooms like this? And you just were putting these different things.
Kind of,
Even if it does kind of go back, which eventually I think it will.
Sure.
Yeah.
I do think this part that's kind of evolved out of the current situation. It's gonna stick around, And as an artist, if you're not privy to like how all this stuff works, definitely get into it because it's not going anywhere.
Right.
Maybe an A&R guy in Iceland wants to hear you play, and you're in Australia. Like you're not gonna fly out there, so but you can live stream a show, or any of your content can go online. Yeah. Something to think about.
Right. Also, I would say knowing how to kind of run all this stuff to a point too. You can do like these guys are pros. They're doing a lot of this stuff. They've got the setup, but it's like that makes it easier. But just understanding the basics. I couldn't tell you how many gigs recently I've gone to, and they're like, sound isn't working. Go figure out the sound. And because I've done the podcast and worked through a lot of this stuff, that's definitely helped me. And then I end up being the sound person for the rest of the night, which is good and bad,
The school of doing.
Right,
just
right.
do it.
Okay.
Figure it out as you
I was
go.
like, I don't fucking know. Let's just do it.
I think everybody learned a little bit during the shutdown. We didn't have anything else to do.
We
so
didn't. We didn't. But that's the funny thing was like with the podcast. Like so, I've told the story before. I saw my original first podcast in 1990 at Dragon Con. And I was like, that's ridiculous. That will never take off.
1990?
What the hell's wrong?
1910?
Yeah. I was like, what the hell's wrong with people? This is never going to take off. This is never going to be a thing.
Wow.
What the hell's this little pod thing? And it does some whatever the heck it does. And here we are.
Pod.
So I've always wanted to do it. I didn't know quite have the time because when you're like literally like, all right, learn 100 songs this week, learn 400 songs this month. It's it's like it's hard to get to that
musician life.
But to be able to do this, and then for you guys, I'm so excited to be here because I get to see like kind of what I was wanting to do, but like better.
Oh well.
but like
Exactly.
like you took my vision and but it's good to know all these things. Like definitely learn the things that you have to do. You have to be everything now. You have to be your booking agent. You have to be you have to be your finance person. You got to be your PR. You got to be your social media. You got to be a lawyer.
The best lawyer.
Which has been crazy. And so that's crazy. But this coming to people that can kind of do this for you will make it like a lot easier on a lot of points. Just do it. Honestly, it's kind of like what was the thing like learning, like taking lessons and learning guitar versus just like trying to learn off the internet.
Yeah.
It's almost like, okay, go to a teacher. They're going to fast track you through this stuff and help you kind of get to where you want to be, hopefully. So
sometimes your project's time is of the essence. You want to be able to get it done today without having to have that learning curve. And some of this stuff is a learning curve.
Yeah.
And we're happy to provide the service here, there, anywhere. Even if we're in the middle of a field, we have actually we did a thing for Must Ministries. We had a couple government officials come out to do a groundbreaking. It was an interesting event, and we ran the whole thing off of our satellite. We have a satellite internet provider, so
I was like, do you have a satellite?
yeah, it's up there.
The PMG Starlink.
it's up
They
there.
launched that
What
with
did I
Elon.
miss
He put us up there.
Yes, Elon. Yeah.
So long as it has a laser attached to it.
As
But-
long it has
That's
at
it.
least 2.
Yeah. So no, I mean just to be able to do it anywhere, here, there, anywhere, and make it simple. So again, there was probably 40 people, 50 people there. They were all spaced out, and each one of them did it was just interesting. I've never thought that was even possible. Thank goodness for technology. We can actually do that now. So.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's what I've been saying, man. Tech, as much as I hate you, I love you.
Yeah.
Because we get to do this kind
constantly
of
changing.
stuff. It's totally ridiculous. All right, so what are some of the highlights, guys? What is like of the past, like since you guys started this? So it's been what, a year?
No,
No,
4
it's
months.
been what, 4 or 5 months?
4
Yeah.
months.
Well,
Okay.
we've been doing the video externally, doing things for
I think
events and concerts and stuff like that. We've been doing a lot of that, but not in
the
house.
in-studio thing was only like 4 or 5 months, but I mean,
Okay, wow.
we've been doing the mobile thing. I think it's been close to like a year because
So when you do the mobile, that's you go out and you provide like the sound, right? And
yeah,
the lighting
we can bring the
and
cameras too
what-
if they want to do the
and
filming.
then okay,
Yeah.
so no, this is more of like you're capturing what's going on. Okay, gotcha.
If they want to do
All
like
right.
a live concert or whatever, we can bring the cameras. We can record the audio if we want, multi-track it, stuff.
We
like
have
that.
these are Canon cinema grade cameras, so
Yeah.
they're the C series.
Nice.
We have
we have 6
seven of
those.
them. We have
yeah.
seven.
And we
of
have a
them.
C500.
Yeah, we have a C500
Yeah.
now too. So
Fancy.
Netflix grade. The
Yeah.
whole everything you could
That's what I'm
possibly
saying.
want, all the
Yeah.
bells and whistles.
Yeah.
And the thing is if it was a concert, you have a few guys on stage. You got one guy looking over the drummer, the other guy
Yeah.
looking up at the guitar player. You have 3 or 4 guys on stage, and then 3 or 4 guys in the crowd getting crowd interaction and shooting that, and it all links together. It can all be timed together, and we also do audio tracking for concerts as well. Hopefully, when everything comes back, we'll be out there doing it again.
It's
Yeah.
coming. It's coming.
64 channels of audio.
It's coming.
7 channels of video,
Yeah.
and we can put it all together
Video
into a
editing,
giant
yeah, all
thing. We also have been doing a lot of stuff for. There's a booking agent in town who sends us a lot of his talent because he wants to put his talent first and make sure that they're really getting out there. So if you're ever looking to get some promotional videos done, just give us hit us up. We'd be happy to work with you.
Hit them up,
Yes,
man.
yes. Please hit us up.
Hit them up. So mobile and in studio, which is amazing because just trying to go mobile, that's a whole nother ball game.
Had to bring everything.
Oh, yeah.
Had to
That's
bring
a whole
everything.
nother ball game.
Yeah.
And then trying to scale that up to a big concert. Like if we're talking about festival level concerts, a lot of people I don't think get the concept of how much you're talking about, like as far
yeah.
as like equipment
Yeah.
and time.
Well, let's put it this way: Scott has got a 12-person van, and he pulls a trailer with it,
Yeah.
and that's just one of the cars. All of us
gets
have
crazy.
trailers.
Yeah.
All of us
Yeah.
have trailers. All of
Yeah.
us have trailers.
Yeah.
It's a lot of equipment, and to get it to a different place, it's always great having people come here. But I mean, if we have to bring it there, we'll do it there too. I
Yep.
mean, just a lot of stuff to bring around.
Yep.
Yep. Definitely. And definitely. And it's all the behind the scenes stuff. So y'all don't get to see a lot of this stuff that goes on.
I thought being a musician was hard until I became a videographer.
Right. It's crazy. It's a whole nother level, but I feel like we all have to do that to a point. So I'm gonna actually ask a blank check question,
Uh-oh.
which is kind of new. And I like the idea of this, which is basically if I could write you a blank check, and COVID is non-existent.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
That is a blank check.
That's a blank check. So that's the caveat. So what would you guys do with that blank check, and where would you want to go with that? And what kind of show would you want to maybe set up? Like, is there a dream show or dream job, or where do you want to go?
I'll tell you what, Hunter, you up?
I mean, it'd be something kind of what I was talking about before, like have bands, or have the stage, or have like the warehouse that we was talking about. Have like
Yeah.
maybe a couple times a week, or maybe during the week have a band do a show or whatever, and have all the lights and everything. So kind of like we're doing here, but just bigger scale probably. and
Bigger scale?
Just have other
Yeah.
other
Would it
rooms in the
function-
warehouse that everybody can
Would
use.
it function as a venue as well?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we thought about doing
Yeah.
that too in the future. Have a venue and a video. You know,
Right.
they can all maybe be one thing.
Multi-scale,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny because that's actually kind of where I was going to be. I was like, I want to have a venue that has a stage and then like rental rooms because that's something that I experienced in LA that we don't have here. Which is literally, a band comes through. You just need an hour to 3 hours of rental room. You can just come and rent. It's already backline provided, and you just rent that room, and it's ridiculous. It was so nice, and I loved it, and I got to do that all over LA and California, Arizona, and we don't have anything like that here. And then like obviously lesson rooms, like if people want to do lesson rooms, but also like this kind of thing. Like, all right, you want a music video? Let's do a music video.
Yeah, yeah.
You want a promo video? Let's do a promo video. And then in the back, I'm gonna have my brewery.
Oh yeah.
You can have that.
You gotta have a brewery.
I'm
thing
gonna
does-
have my brewery.
You can have the audio studio on the other side if they want to do
That's
vocals.
right, that's
So
right.
everything's in one place.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So, and we've been working with Possum Street
sure have.
Brewery.
We named it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we actually helped name
Cool.
that.
That's awesome.
And so it's one of the things.
Possum Street. Wait. How'd you get the name?
We. It's a
There was a
story.
possum on the street.
There was
It's funny. I literally had an
literally-
interaction with a possum like 2 nights ago.
It
Like,
was right in the garbage cans.
Oh well, so
Yeah.
I've been trying to
It was
catch.
That's not
Rain
the
porch.
funniest. You know New Year's Eve how they have the peaks drop here in Tallapoosa, Georgia. They have the possum drop.
Yes.
They drop a
yeah.
possum from
possum
a tree.
drop.
The possum
Yeah.
drop,
Actual
but no,
possum?
we were
Yeah,
like,
it's a real
we
possum.
were like,
They
yeah.
drop it from the trees.
It's like it's the bottom.
I guess when it hits the bottom, it's New Year's.
Aw.
I don't know.
It's New Year's for it.
Speaking of
maybe.
possums,
See some
Yeah, it's the
fireworks.
Last year.
Right? Yeah, it's the last year.
last
for
year,
it,
for
yeah.
real. Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, that was
They're
kind
actually
that was
kinda
funny.
sweet.
So that was kind of
Sometimes.
like something
I'm not trying to
where
fight you.
here in Atlanta we can kind of coalesce. Is that a word?
Coalesce.
Coalesce.
You get 2. That's nice.
That was great.
Fat fingers.
That was the possum drop. So we
dolphin.
can coalesce. But no, I agree. I would love to do that and figure out how to
Yeah.
kind of make that work because I one of the things the reason why I started this podcast and was to bring music back to Atlanta to become a music hub again.
Cool.
I mean, it really hasn't. I think it is. I think it's just more underground. And maybe if I think the technology is going to bring a lot of people out. People
Right.
who normally wouldn't be out there. And I mean, obviously the what was it? The Social Distance Festival on Facebook. How that overnight became 150
Oh, yeah.
million
Socially
people.
distant. That was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
just artists who never thought about performing in front of other people, sitting in front of their webcams, performing in front of And there's a lot of stories there, a lot of interesting people that should be seen. There's a guy that I saw the other day. He was just drumming on a sink, but he was killing it. He
Yeah.
was drumming on a
man.
sink.
Yeah,
I
you
never
never know.
thought-
You never know what
He
you're
was
doing.
just playing the inside of a regular kitchen sink, and it blew my mind. And I could not think. I mean,
It's great.
it's great thing to see. A lot
That's
of
it, man. That's it.
It's a great thing to see. Was it on like a steel sink?
it was man. I wish I could find it.
Like one of those like
Porcelain.
metal.
Look it up. Look it
Yeah,
up.
it was just,
Socially distant fest is the full.
Because I'll
thing.
play.
It's
I'll play a sink if I have to.
Yep.
I'll play one.
Hunter, you'll. No, I'm not gonna say it. Yeah. We're gonna keep it.
We are
We're
on
gonna
air,
keep it PG-13.
You can only
Yeah.
pick on Hunter so much.
Normally that would get very dirty gutter, but all right,
very dirty gutter.
very dirty gutter. All right, I think though, boys, do you guys have anything else you want to tell people about what you do? About
I mean, anything else be left out, or we cover everything? What do you think?
I think
I mean, you
that
talked about the drum videos, acoustic, guitar lesson thing. I mean,
literally
videos,
anything. Like I
yeah.
said, you could just find us either through this platform or any other platforms and just give us a
also,
shout out.
I have all of their info for, of course, the studio down below on
Cool.
all of the podcast notes as well as the YouTube notes. You can find their channel, you can find their website, you can find their Facebook and Instagram. So make sure you guys follow, support these guys. They're doing something really cool here in Atlanta, and I'm so proud of you guys actually
Oh,
for
thanks.
doing
thank
this,
you
man.
For,
I mean, it's really
cool to be a
cool
part of that. I like this.
it's really cool to
Yeah.
see sort of like I was doing this and you guys were doing this and it all kind
I'll
of
put
came
it all
together.
Yeah.
So this is cool, and to be off site again. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you guys for helping with, of course, this beautiful shit that's all around us.
There's your one.
No, you can say shit.
Oh,
I already
There's two.
I said the
Great
one
question
other
to
one.
more on.
I said the one other one. So, but yeah, all right. So I think though all of the people out there want to know about this Gauntlet of Fire. What does that mean?
That's great teamwork, you guys. I just have to say.
I love that. The first thing is we have to figure out what your stripper names are.
How do you do that?
Okay.
She's about to tell you.
How-
Uh,
oh, okay.
Yeah, she gonna let you know.
All right,
Okay.
Scotty, we'll start
All
with
right.
you since you're
Yeah.
so inquisitive about what your stripper name
He's
is.
ready.
All right, number one is what is the name of your childhood pet?
Ace.
I like
Oh,
it.
no,
All
here we
right,
go.
what's the name of the street you grew up on?
Rocky Ridge Drive. Ace Rocky, is that it?
That's
Ace
it,
Rocky.
Ace Rocky Ridge.
Oh, wow.
The rockiest of ridge, ladies.
Man, it just keeps going, doesn't
The
it?
longest drum roll.
Okay.
Oh, it just stops. It doesn't even.
That's anticlimactic.
The Ace Rocky Ridge.
That
Wow.
was. All right, Hunter.
We gotta do Hunter. Yeah.
I think we've done this before, but we have to publicly do this.
It might change because I don't really remember a lot of things in my life. I think the first legitimate one would have been Stormy.
Oh, that's a
I'm
good
liking
start.
this.
That's like an average.
It's a
like,
good
name.
start.
As was
Average
cat.
stripper name. Yeah.
First is cat. And what's the street I grew up
Street you grew up on?
on? Chippewa Court.
Oh God, Stormy Chippewa.
Shit, Chip a what?
Chippewa who?
Stormy Chippewa. Ooh, boy.
Oh man.
All right, you're on the
I think the
seat.
hardest part is just trying to remember your childhood. Like,
Yeah, you're like shuffling.
Yeah.
Rolodex.
So not going into anything, but I had 100 and something cats when I grew up. I'm not even kidding. I had 100 cats.
Crazy
So
cat lady.
Which one do you remember the most?
chances of me remembering which was which and which was the first one, I
All
don't
right,
know.
well, what one stood out to
Yeah.
you? What was like your
Tiger.
tiger? I like
Okay.
that.
Tiger.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yes.
And for street, I guess Wentworth. Tiger Wentworth.
Tiger Wentworth.
It's not
It
very.
sounds like Jay-Z Wentworth.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. It's
Well, I
good.
have 120 cats. Maybe I'll
Bunch
just
of
pick another
cats.
name later.
I
I
like
need my
tiger.
cats now.
All right,
It's my cat,
Tiger
I want
went
it.
there. There we go.
I'll get you your cat's meow.
This is getting bad.
Tiger Wentworth.
Don't know how we ended up rescuing so many cats, but
right.
thanks, Mom.
All right. Now he's scarred. Thanks, Mom.
We got Steve Wilson in the chat. He's laughing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Steve. Neighbor Steve. How you doing, buddy?
Alrighty, so starting with Jeff this time, we're gonna
Oh,
go back
no.
to tell us one thing that is 100% true, but people would think is totally made up.
Oh, wow. Woo. Oh, gosh.
Y'all be thinking over there.
What?
Oh, man.
What was the question?
Oh.
I didn't
Huh?
hear it.
No, I'm just. It's just I'm an open book. I don't mind talking. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I'm
I
the same
can't.
way. I have trouble answering that question.
Gosh.
I don't
Something
think I
that-
have anything. I've never done anything.
All right, let's go to Hunter. Something that is 100% true, but seems like it's completely made up.
I'm a ginger.
I'm not too worried about that.
I think that's the right one.
That is.
That's the right one.
I just mashed a button. I figured
I
it.
guess mine would be I drive a 12-passenger van. It's true.
He does
True,
drive
personal
12
vehicle.
passenger- It is a
It's my
white
personal vehicle for work and
unmarked
for,
van.
It's a white unmarked.
Yeah, it's
van.
white. Too.
with very tinted windows.
Yes.
It's rolling probable cause.
Very,
Yes.
very
Rolling
tinted.
probable cause.
It's like he painted them black.
Yeah. I tried to find it in black, but it's hard.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Struggle is real.
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Struggle is real. Speaking of the struggle is real. Back to
Okay,
you.
all right, fine. I'll see if I can think of something.
This is the
God.
gauntlet of fire. Wow.
It's still hard.
It
It's
is the
hard to-
gauntlet. Yeah, it's just hard to. It's like you don't get to prepare. So.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I am completely surprised.
Well, I should have held on to that little nugget of 120 cats. There it is again. There-
Yeah, I'll give you that one. All right, so I did not know Jeff grew up in a crazy cat lady house.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
At least you understand.
I get
It is
it.
the crazy cat
I get it.
No, that's the wrong one.
I get it. I get it. All right. Okay, so this is a fun one because we are always talking about movies that come out featuring superheroes.
Cool.
So we just talk about superpowers. Starting over here, what's your
Okay.
superpower of choice? You only
Probably,
get one. Don't tell me flying. I'm tired of
No,
flying.
probably invisible. Probably invisibility.
That's another one that's
Oh.
pretty common.
Is that another one?
Yeah, it is. Think outside the box.
I don't know. I'll just say X-ray vision.
X-ray vision. We haven't had that one.
Okay.
So is
Really?
it X-ray vision down to like you see all the way through them, or you see bones, or like true X-ray?
Yeah, probably just bones. I don't think I want to see the other parts like the people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what? How would that benefit you?
I didn't think about if it would benefit me. It was like an extra thing.
I got it.
Like an extra power.
You can see the truth.
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
Cut
so
to
you
the
can
bullshit.
see
I can see the
people's
truth.
bones. Okay,
Okay.
but
yeah.
you can see through walls, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
See through
so
walls.
see-
I was about to say that would be more
Yeah.
beneficial sometimes.
Yeah, because I guess if you see bones, you'll see through. Like,
Doesn't need a stud
material, too.
finder. It's just-
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
you're
you
hanging,
can-
when you're hanging shoes,
the
is good to
stud?
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, all right. Jeff.
Inception. Like I want to make people think something like was original thought they had.
Oh man.
Oh, that's cool.
That'd be
That's
cool.
manipulation.
Right. Not even just that. Just the fact that like I mean, sometimes use it for good too. I'm sure. And
I'm sure.
maybe.
That could be very dangerous. All right, Hunter.
So I was randomly on. I was watching. I might have been another podcast. I want to cross those streams, but they were talking about Midas touch, and I thought that turning crap into gold, maybe not just crap, but
I
like
love gold.
actual things into gold by touching would be kind of cool.
So like
But how are you gonna
everything
eat?
you touch
How are
is
you
going to
gonna
turn to
eat?
gold.
You put some gloves on, you eat some food. It's cool. Take them off,
It's
touch
gonna,
it
it's
to
gonna
gold.
touch your tongue. It's gonna touch your tongue and it's gonna turn into gold.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, then I
so,
guess you
like,
die.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
gonna
that's
die?
anticlimactic. you just ruined that whole thing.
That's
I
what,
had
that's
going
what
there.
happened to King Midas.
That's what happened.
It is.
to
It
King
is.
Midas.
He died.
He died.
Well, maybe you could do intravenous food and someone else touches it.
Oh,
It just turns to gold inside your body and you just
die, dude.
explode into gold. I don't know.
I need that soundbite. I love gold.
Oh man.
I was just ripping on something that I saw earlier. I thought it was kind of funny.
I don't
We
know,
just ruined
man.
that for me
I
by
get so sick
bringing
of
the truth
gold.
out.
I'm so sorry.
Ah.
I just shot you down.
Yeah.
What if you
I
like
didn't
touch
mean to be
yourself?
like
Then
that.
you're like,
But
Oh,
I get,
no.
if you had me, I'd probably be able to see the gold. If it was
You ever
inside
seen
your
the-
body, right?
the-
Yeah.
That Skittles commercial where he touches everything
Hunter,
and it
I
turns into
think you
Skittles.
have
Everything's
our
turns to
package.
Skittle. Yeah.
It's a chunk of gold.
when I touch myself, ooh.
I turned to gold.
I was gonna do the boing sound.
See, he doesn't have a mark, so he doesn't know what he's hitting. So yeah. It's just hitting that, touching. him.
That I don't know. I don't know about that. That's interesting. So you have to put parameters on that. Obviously.
Apparently, yeah. Also, it doesn't matter because you're gonna die.
Well, there you go. All right.
That just got weird.
See, that's why you say flying because flying's cool.
No, you think you're flying. Everybody
Invisibility's
says
kind of cool
flying.
too, but yeah, you said everybody uses that. So.
Everybody uses
Trying to
flying.
think of-
Come up with something original.
Do I get a mulligan here? Can I like pick something
You can do,
else?
yes, you can do a mulligan.
You get a mulligan?
Because you're already dead. You already died.
What the hell was that? Was that a yeet?
Alright, what's your mulligan? Now you can have mulligans.
I was just pulling things
I can't
out of
even
my
think of-
ass.
I can't even
and-
think of like all the powers that everybody has.
He just wants mulligans forever. That's gonna be his
Yeah,
power.
yeah. Just like, this is wrong. Next, this is wrong.
I
next.
would totally be like, can
He
I have
wants-
just mulligans for the rest of my
Yeah,
life?
he wants endless.
No, there it is, and that's it.
Oh yeah,
mulligans.
Infinite
that's
mulligan.
the power.
The infinite mulligan.
Like
Oh,
the
that
worst
came out
golf
wrong.
player
Everybody,
ever.
rewind. I'm gonna say it again.
Yeah, exactly. Roll it
I
back.
probably need that too.
Infinite mulligans. That's original.
Yes, yes.
He wants to restart this interview again.
No, just a little back.
Again,
Just a little
again,
back.
again,
Not the
again.
whole thing. Just a little back.
All right. If you were arrested with no explanation, Hunter, what would people think you were arrested for?
Oh man. I was trying to turn that into a mulligan joke, but it didn't really work.
Here, I'll buy you some time with this 8-minute drum roll. We got another few minutes. Here we go. And
Make it good.
All right. What's your answer?
It just has to have that resolution.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I don't actually have a good one for this. And I don't.
So we had Seth Hill say this
We
is
do.
awesome. Seth
My
Hill
my
on the-
bass buddy Seth Hill, we just had on recently. Badass.
That's awesome.
Thank you for joining us. Hell yeah. Yeah, we got a bunch of jokers in the house tonight, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
oh lord.
Yeah.
We still on Hunter
Yeah.
though. Hunter, what do you got for me?
I don't even.
What
know.
would your family assume you got arrested for?
Assume?
Yes, well, they
Yeah, what
assume.
people assume. Like,
I mean,
what would-
obviously not murder, because that'd be weird.
All I know is you're in jail.
Yeah.
What's the first thing they think?
Yeah, he probably got drunk, got pulled over somewhere.
Yeah.
That's probably
Wait a
what it would be.
second. It's slightly believable.
Okay. Well, we didn't say it had to be like true or not true. All right, Scotty.
Yeah,
what
I
do you
guess
got?
probably driving a 12-passenger van through a daycare or something. I don't know.
Oh,
No, not
Oh.
that. No, I'm saying because I have a van. That's probably what they would think. But I don't
That
know.
got dark real quick.
It doesn't. It didn't say it had to be true.
They didn't have to be true.
What about you, Jeff?
Oh, okay. So what would I? Okay, what was the question again? Sorry, I was like,
You're
thinking,
in jail. What do people assume
Yeah.
you're in there for? Before
what would
they-
people assume?
before you get to tell them anything?
We got Kent too.
You know, honestly,
Yeah, let's hit everyone up.
That's number 2.
Probably the same
Yeah,
thing
see,
I said.
these are-
It's believable.
See, I was trying to think
Actually-
of something.
having 120. Okay.
See, I tried to think of
All right,
something.
animal hoarding. Wait a minute, animal hoarding. Was it animal? Animal
yeah.
hoarding.
A true story, and this is, I wish I could show everybody on the show, but okay, so yesterday, or no, 2 days ago,
Where's
Friday.
this going?
Oh no, on the way
Is
to
it?
the gig,
Is it?
on the way to the gig, this guy coming on oncoming traffic hit a deer, and he kind of stumbled
Ouch.
off in my lane, and I slammed on brakes, and he hid under my car. But the problem was, is everybody thought it was my fault. I have a photo, and I'll show you.
That you hit the deer.
Yeah, like, everybody
So
thought
we
it was
can
me.
pipe this in.
No, that you did not hit the
Yeah,
deer.
which was
I
the
did
way-
not hit the deer. The other guy hit the deer, and the deer decided to hide under my car.
Oh,
But the photos don't make it look any better.
this is going
Steve.
very
because you had to
dark.
get under
yeah.
there.
Very quickly.
No, I mean, I just sat there. I felt like everybody looked at me, like everybody was looking at me like, oh, I can't believe you would do that. And I didn't do it. I had no
Steve.
marks on my car.
I mean, I would totally.
Steve knows where the daycare is.
So,
You need to ask nobody.
wrong
That's
place.
funny, Steve.
Guess what I'm saying. Wrong place, wrong time.
That
Wrong
happens.
place, wrong time.
That
would
happens
definitely
quite
be
a bit. That happens quite a bit.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
highly relatable.
Oh, wow, that is under your car.
Yep.
But he's just hanging out.
It is under the
Can
car.
we get that on
Aw,
camera?
poor
You
baby.
can-
Is that a thing?
I don't know if we
Aw.
can do that. You can see what camera's on.
I don't know.
It'll
It's
be
on the
on you
wide.
and-
It's on the wide right now.
It's on the white, but it's behind. So,
Okay, other one.
welcome to podcasting.
Yeah. With all
It
the,
actually kind of worked for a
Streaming.
second.
Did
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. We tried.
I just saw it on the
But
screen.
yeah, it was under the car. That's
it was
crazy.
but it was just
under
like
the car.
I was like
Aw.
I didn't do it.
Just a little guy.
Aw. Oh, you really love
Poor
it.
fella.
I do like animals. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah. So
That's good.
wrong
otherwise,
place, wrong
otherwise
time.
I have to kill you and I'd be in there for murder. All right.
Is that what they would assume about you, Amy?
I don't know. I think
Absolutely.
I think
Not gonna
people-
answer the question
no,
for
I
you.
think I think people would totally think I'd be in there for assault and battery. Or
I was
like
about to say, just
something,
knocking somebody over for
something
pissing you
like
off,
that.
probably.
I yes, even though
yeah?
I actually don't have an assault and battery charge on my record, but I do have I have
You probably would go down for stealing cable.
knocked some shit out. No, I've never stole. I don't
Like-
steal because fuck that. I can just get it on my own.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I have had quite a few fights, and I have literally ripped things off of people's faces and knocked their teeth out. So
Ugh.
yeah, it's been fun. But I've never
No,
got caught.
never.
I never got caught.
Ugh.
Never got caught. Yeah. So yeah, Lollapalooza. You know who you are. Get you. Don't grab my boobie.
I'm sending it out in the link.
That's right. Don't grab
There's
me.
no boom though. Like it's just.
There's no boom. Where's the end to all your things, man? There we go. There we go. Alrighty, Julie. I think it's time for one of your questions.
Well,
For these
on
boys.
that same vein, and I guess we'll start with Scotty since we picked on Jeff last.
Okay.
Oh god.
If you could choose a crime to commit and get away with,
Oh.
what would that crime be? And
This
so
one's
the
easier.
only thing on you is your own conscience. Nobody else is gonna figure this out.
Scot free too.
What are you gonna do?
You can do it in front of people
Scot-free.
too, like
Scot-free.
public.
No matter what it is, you get away with
Scot-free.
it.
Oh, I mean,
So-
I'm
probably
about to
just,
learn a lot about old Scott.
probably just I don't know, robbing a bank or something.
Okay.
Why not?
Again?
Why not? Yeah.
Scot-free robs a bank.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hunter.
Then we can do that.
What's
We can get
question?
closer to that dream.
That's it. It's true.
Again?
It's true.
Yes.
You can get away with any crime that you want to
Now,
commit.
what bank though? See?
Oh, okay.
See?
Well, like Fort Knox or something.
I don't
Yeah,
know, probably
I mean,
my bank. Bank of
If
America.
Fort Knox has
We
gold,
all know there's no gold in
Bank of
America,
America.
okay?
No, Bank of America, because they charge you all those fees. I'm gonna take that shit back.
all right, he's going with Bank of America. America.
Yeah.
All right. Go, Hunter.
Yeah, I'm bad with crimes. I feel like
Yeah,
I've
I know.
done them all.
See, me too.
But you're not paying any consequences for this one.
Yeah. Can I pass? Can I just like
No.
All right.
just
We
hold
can
us up to
pass.
Jeff?
No,
You
the
can come back,
Mulligan thing is
though.
over.
You
Come
can,
on.
Have a good
you can
fucking
mulligan on the
answer.
way back though.
All right, what you got?
You know what I want to do?
Look at you.
I want to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, you're trying,
And
yeah,
Nicholas.
you're trying to be
I know.
What are you
Nicolas
gonna do with
Cage.
it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say use it
You
as
just want to hang it on
paper.
your wall?
I don't
You're
know.
trying to be Nicolas Cage.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You can hang your dining room wall? I mean, what are you
I
going
don't
to
know. I don't know.
do? My precious.
Yeah, there was this movie one time where that was kind of the plot line. They had Nick Cage in it. I don't know if you remember.
Did you see all like the photos from folks who stormed the Capitol, and there was like someone had photoshopped
Yeah,
the picture
yeah.
of Nick Cage in the back?
Yeah, they photoshopped him and said this was the plan all along.
Yeah. I can't not think about that.
Yes. That's the best part of
All
that.
right, Hunter.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I guess go to jail.
Go to jail.
Are you a break?
Go to jail is what you would do.
Yeah.
Just
break
walk into
into
I'm
jail.
already here.
Break
You're
into
just going to
jail.
walk in and shut the door and sit down.
I guess.
so you
yeah.
gotta-
Hooray, free food.
Okay, no one's
Wait,
ever
wait.
done that, right?
No, you gotta
Why do you
break
want to do that?
break
I
into
don't wanna do
jail and like make them think that you're like a lifetime sentence and you never have to think about anything else.
Yeah.
There you go.
But why?
I don't know.
What is it? How does it say it? 3 hots at a cot? There you go.
Just
Again?
Just make sure you don't put yourself on death row. That might be a little bit not so
Yeah.
good. No.
I heard that much practice
That's a hard question. Like, it's just
This
a hard
is
question.
Yeah.
All right, so this is an easy question, Hunter. If you could be a fruit, what fruit would you be?
Oh, wait. No.
There's so many things that could have just gotten said.
Yeah, I'm gonna go easy. Watermelon.
I have not had a watermelon, sir. That's the first
And
melon.
why is that?
That's
I don't know.
actually the first melon we've had on the show.
Really?
People don't give melons enough credit.
They don't.
They're good
Watermelon.
for you.
They
They're
do
nutritious.
not. They,
Watermelon.
hydrating.
What about
They
that
are
video? Yeah.
huge. just ridiculously big.
they do not give enough melons credit. Melons are
It's a
beautiful
lot of nutrition
things.
in one fruit.
It is.
And it holds many liters of
Seeds.
alcohol.
Yeah, too. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that watermelon can drink for like 2 days.
That's
I mean,
right.
All right, Jeff.
It's true.
Fruit. Banana. Does everybody do that one?
No, actually not. I think it's because it's like the easy thing.
I wanted to say tomato, but
We have a lot of tomatoes.
we have a lot of tomatoes because people
yeah.
think that. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of tomatoes. Don't be cocky.
We should
Oh.
say strawberry.
Just go with the banana.
Strawberry.
Banana.
Strawberry.
Why is that?
Why?
I don't know.
You gotta say why. Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know?
High in potassium.
Did you know? Yes, exactly. So you could literally live on bananas almost.
You know, we open them wrong.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
opens them
Have you
from
ever
the
seen-
wrong
yeah.
end.
Actually, you can
Yeah.
live off bananas and beer because there's a few things bananas don't have.
Yeah,
Beer's
actually-
got it.
They
There
actually
you
That's
open
all
up.
you need.
There
They
you
actually
go.
open them
banana
upside
beer
down.
and you don't have to do anything
They
else.
don't have the strings if you do it upside down. Don't break the
Right.
end. Yeah.
Well, everybody's opening them the wrong side.
Yeah.
The entire, I don't know how.
I mean, isn't that the truth of life?
Sorry,
So-
you misunderstood.
Yeah, no, I mean, they just, animals figured it out first.
Yeah,
and we
it's
were
just
like,
a-
nah,
yeah.
we're going to do it the
It's
other
a-
way. And
It's just a fun fact about bananas. Yeah.
All right, that's down to the end.
I don't know. First thing I could think of was pear.
I have not had that many pears.
Yeah.
I like pears.
Yeah, I haven't had a good pear in a
Pears
while.
got good shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also
Which-
are really good for baking.
Are they?
Yeah, they're great.
I've
You
never
make all
had a
kinds of
pear
awesome
for
stuff with
baking.
pears.
Oh, a baked pear is.
Really? I had never had that.
All right, we'll have to do.
Cooking show
We'll have
coming
to
right
do
here.
a baking show.
Next
So
week.
speaking of food, actually, if you could have a barbecue with any one artist or band, alive or dead, money is not an issue. You have an unlimited budget. What band would you hire, or what artist would you hire to cook out with you as a barbecue?
Wow.
And again, alive or dead.
I need like an avid PETA person here. Like, what's a good example of that? No, I don't know. I think if I could sit down with anybody, I would want to sit down with Paul McCartney.
All right.
I would love to sit down with that guy. I don't know why. It just seems like a cool dude.
I kind of thought about some Beatles too for a second there.
Oh, okay. Beatles.
I was thinking.
I was thinking that.
I was thinking more like
Amy loves the Beatles.
like Stevie
Nah.
Wonder or something. I was thinking
Oh
that.
yeah.
I would burn,
I was thinking
burn him
that,
in the
yeah.
barbecue. It's okay.
You would not burn Stevie Ray Vaughan in the barbecue.
Oh no, Stevie Ray's cool.
But they don't have to cook. They're just performing, right? They don't have to cook.
No, they're not cooking. You're just hanging
Okay.
out with them. You're barbecuing.
Okay.
You're having
What
a party.
about some Beethoven?
You wanna bring-
Oh, nice.
I've not had Beethoven,
Beethoven
yet.
back.
I mean, you'd be
That's a first.
screaming at him the whole time he's deaf.
It'd be awesome.
But it would
And
be-
he would not
Not
understand you.
He can still have his hearing.
He would not understand
Yeah, we
you.
can do that. We can go back to when he has
To-
hearing,
to
and then there goes my
pre-hearing
punchline,
problems.
and it's worthless now. But
Yeah.
I appreciate
Mulligan.
it.
Mulligan power.
We're not actually giving power to the hunter. We just want you to use your imagination.
I'm not asking for permission. I'm taking it. I'm taking the mulligan.
Oh, we got Jim Fuller in
He
the
said, "Hey, you
house.
guys, where are
Good
you?"
old Jim Fuller. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you
like-
for
Hey,
joining
Jim.
us.
You'd like an extra syllable in it. Barbecue.
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 I don't know. I think Motley Crue could be interesting.
Oh God.
Barbecue.
Yeah. Man.
Or I would go with
The best pyrotechnic show, Kiss.
yeah, you could go with Kiss would be
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know, makeup or no makeup.
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 I think no matter what, when they're not wearing makeup, they're wearing makeup.
No matter
Yes.
Oh.
could go with some Dio. That'd be pretty epic, I think. I don't know. So many choices. All right. Do you have any other questions? I've got a few more.
Do we want to ask another one? Or well, some more for fun?
Yes,
Okay.
let's go. Let's do
Well,
one more.
since,
We got a
since,
few
we're on,
more.
since we're on the vein of food, so at no consequence to your actual health, like you're not going to get
I
diabetes.
like how it's like no consequence
or heart
Nobody-
disease or anything from these choices that you make. How would you rearrange the food pyramid? What would come first and what would be last?
But I have diabetes and heart disease.
YOLO.
Yeah, I don't know. Sitting at, I better. Anybody want to go before me? Or,
No, you're right.
I don't want to take.
It's been so long. I don't even remember how it looks now.
I love pizza. I don't know. Pizza. Everybody loves pizza, but I love like.
His triangle is a pizza.
I had.
It's just one
Yeah,
big
the
piece
whole
of pizza.
triangle.
I
It's
love
just
They
a
come in
pizza.
triangles.
The
They
whole
come out
pyramid is a
triangles.
pizza. Yeah, the whole pyramid.
It's a triangle.
Yeah, it's triangles. Pizza.
Wife got Uber Eats the Anticos, and man, wow.
Oh yeah,
Good time.
Antigua. You haven't had that was good. We have
Knock-
So
Knockout.
what's the food that you would never eat because you hate it?
Ooh. Ooh.
Even if it is good for you, you just wouldn't have to eat it anymore.
You know, I don't know why me and cucumbers don't get along.
Really?
I love them in water.
Cucumbers.
Cucumber.
Oh,
I love them in water,
they're
but
nice and ribbed and cold and long and
no, it's just like
nutritious.
cucumbers, pickles.
Cucumber.
I see what
No.
you're doing there.
No, I love cucumbers.
I don't mind cucumbers. They're fine.
I love to pickle them. That was perfect.
You hit it again.
That was even better.
God. Oh, I got to get this out of the way.
Oh boy. Huh.
Sorry for everybody's eardrums. Probably overloaded.
This is the most fun we've had in a while.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
Yep. That's the last thing you hear before you die.
Yeah.
Everything all at once.
Probably true.
All right. What you got?
What?
Oh, the
Hunter?
food pyramid.
Oh, food pyramid.
Yeah, food pyramid.
It would be like just steak and then steak.
So
Steak.
a whole lot of beef.
And then steak.
Whole lot of dead animal. Okay.
And then probably some more
then-
dead animals at the bottom there. I don't know. A
don't
big
know.
square of
I
them.
put
And what are you not eating anymore?
Anything
I
else?
don't know. I literally eat everything.
He does eat everything.
You don't hate anything.
I don't hate anything.
just make the
good.
make the whole
Weird,
triangle.
right? Like I just
Make
love
the-
food.
As long as
Really?
you
You
can eat a
don't
steak.
hate anything.
Yeah, steaks are like the pinnacle of meat of
You
eating.
you don't really hate anything?
Give it
Anything.
I've known Hunter for like
Radishes.
100
Love
years, it
radishes.
feels like, and he's adapted my
I hate
food
goat
eating.
cheese. I really do. I've tried to like it and I can't. I just don't like it.
The funk is good for you.
The
That
funk is
funky ass smell come out. That's
Oh,
good
man.
for you.
It smells like
What
a
are we
goat.
talking about?
What's the point?
Goat cheese.
Oh, I love
Oh, I've
that.
had,
I
I've had
I
it.
can't like it.
I haven't
I
had
can't
that
do
in a
blue cheese.
while.
I can't. It's blue cheese and me. I can't do it.
I like blue cheese.
Yeah, I
like
tried to.
blue
Yeah,
Flat
I ate it on the
Swiss
sandwich the
or
other day.
like
It's like it,
smells like a
No,
goat.
no,
no, it's like it
not good.
overpowers everything.
It's
yeah.
like it's
Yeah, you
like
take one
It's
bite
good
and it's
for
like
you. It builds strong
no, it's
bones.
good. I like it. It's just
Literally, it's full of calcium.
It's just
Good
really
for you.
strong, man.
I mean, so's broccoli.
You can't taste
Wait,
anything else.
no,
You need to get
can't
light
do
blue
broccoli.
cheese. Yeah.
Broccoli.
I like blue cheese though.
You just put more chicken wings with the blue cheese and you're good to go.
Yeah, I guess you can do
Just
that.
imbibe the chicken wings.
Yeah,
Again, back to meat because it's how you eat.
yeah.
It's not how you have to eat. Don't listen to him. All right. All right, Scotty. We're gonna,
I'll
we're
probably
gonna
just hit the whole pyramid and put a sweet tea on it.
Oh,
Sweet tea.
this guy can
So
have
you're
some
just
sweet
gonna
tea.
take
Yeah, I
your
can
tea
go
upside
through gallons of
down,
sweet
and you're
tea.
just gonna have sweet tea for
I can
breakfast,
guess the
lunch,
gallons
and
of
dinner.
sweet tea.
Yeah.
A sweet tea.
He is sweet tea.
Yes, I
He
am.
is.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, every
That's
time
why
we
my
go
hair
out,
is gone.
we go any of these restaurants around now, they
Sweet
see him
tea
walk
with
through the
lemon.
door, they give him like a 32
Yeah.
ounce.
The biggest glass they have
Some of these
full of
Mexican
sweet tea.
restaurants, they'll play jokes and they'll bring me like a draft, a whole pitcher of sweet tea.
A draft
And you
pitcher
sit
of
down.
Here you
sweet
go,
tea.
ka-chum.
Strong.
Anybody knows Scott knows he's always on that.
Yeah, I know.
sweet tea.
Like every time I sit down, I like sweet tea. Like, yeah. They already know.
Sweet tea.
Oh yeah,
All
sweetest.
right. Sweetest of the sweet tea. All right.
Wait,
Sweetest.
what food? I'm curious now.
Oh, yeah.
What food would you not eat? You can't say meat because I know you don't eat meat.
I don't eat meat.
So,
I didn't know that.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I've not eaten meat for about 20 years now.
Whoa. Okay.
That's a
For a
Wow.
long time.
It's a lot of years.
Yeah, I worked in a pig slaughter factory,
Ooh.
and that pretty much turned me off from that. And then I lived next to a chicken farm, and that turned me off from
Yeah,
eating
this smells
that.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, so so that changed me off.
That was good.
That was good.
You know the one thing I really hate, and I've tried to like peas. Peas.
You mean like this little green English peas?
peas?
Are awesome.
You like peas?
They are good in everything.
Like peas.
I like peas. I like how you're saying that.
I don't want peas.
Your
I
peas.
don't want
Are you
peas.
talking
No.
about the little green English ones, or like the chickpeas, or like what? Like
No,
just
mind those. The peas.
Regular green peas.
English peas.
Yeah, the nasty, slobbery, stinky.
Those are beans. We're talking about peas.
Actually, I love beans.
I love beans.
I know you
It
do.
ain't
I mean,
beans.
yeah, pretty
I
much.
would
Man, I got
not.
stories about
we'll
some
eat some
beans.
beans together. I love beans. It's not beans. It's those nasty canned peas.
A lot of a can, they are pretty bad. They're not bad though.
No peas. Peas, no. And fish sticks, no. Peas and fish sticks.
Well, fish sticks is
Well, that's meat. We knew you weren't eating that.
yeah.
Ugh. Bad growing up with peas and fish sticks.
So,
All right.
do
That's like American
Are you
right
like
there.
one of those people who doesn't eat meat but ate fish?
No, I don't eat fish.
Don't eat fish either. Wow.
Yeah. I'm actually allergic to iodine, so I can't have a lot
Wow.
of fish.
Just do cheese though.
I do cheese. Yeah. I love
Otherwise, how
cheese.
would you eat pizza?
I love cheese. Unfortunately, it's not great, but I do love cheese. All right, so speaking of nasty things, so I gotta ask you guys what the definition you guys think of, and I'm gonna go. Let's see, who we gonna start with? Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first?
What are we doing?
Jeff's
we-
going
what we even
first.
doing?
He said something.
Jeff's
now,
going first.
Crap.
What do you think the definition of a rat licker is?
Oh,
Your best educated guess, or uneducated if you want.
I don't know. A cobbler's assistant. I don't know. I have no idea.
Cobbler's assistant.
Like a he makes.
Shoes.
Yeah.
We talking about pies or shoes?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing something else out there.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum.
All right.
I have my own punchline.
I agree, Seth. Fish sticks, they're not real food. They're disgusting. All right, Hunter. Rat liquor.
Fish sticks are
I
good.
know.
One who licks rats.
They keep getting worse 'cause I have no labels here.
He's just pushing buttons.
It's
Can't work
called
under
rat
these
liquor.
conditions.
All right. All
that's
right.
what I-
Scott.
That's what I would think. Like seeing somebody like on a New York subway, some crazy guy. with a rat licking.
You're actually kind of
It's very
close.
Really?
visual, yeah.
Oh,
You're close.
But not quite.
to what that actually ends up
I just added more to what
meaning.
Hunter said, but yeah, that's what I when everything.
It's gonna
that's
be
what I think.
it's gonna be completely different.
Yeah, I
one.
know.
It is, but we're not going to tell you. You're going to have to look that up later.
Okay.
For all you guys on the podcast, good luck. All right, so here is the concert revolver.
Okay.
It
Okay.
is called the Roulette Wheel of Concerts.
That's
So,
what a fanfare.
Pushy fart
It's a
dot,
fanfic.
dot MP3.
so this is gonna go into, and I didn't bring my dice, so we're gonna need somebody who is not involved. Mr. Mark Cook over here, give me a number 1 to 12.
Okay. 8.
8, Scotty. Number 8 for you is the next concert that you are planning to go to.
I think I actually have some that had to get postponed, so I think it's either Jake McCollier or Doobie Brothers with Michael McDonald.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of those.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, give me a number.
6.
6 for Hunter is seen the most.
Huh?
What concert have you seen, or what band have you seen the most?
You're right, man.
Oh.
These ugly bugs.
That's a toughie. Yeah, I played a lot of bands, and I've been playing original music, so I've seen a lot of the same bands over and over again because it gets smaller and smaller the older you get.
Smaller.
But and just like
Need a little sound bite like that.
small.
Smaller.
That's a good one. I don't know.
Smaller.
I haven't I don't actively go see. I'm gonna see a band when they come and go see them. I just go to
What
concerts.
about on Action?
Or used to go to
What
concerts.
about on Action? Is it Michael McDonald always?
Please. Please and thank you.
Every time you turn on the radio, it's Michael McDonald.
I'm bad. I don't have a.
All right, we're gonna come back to you, Mark. What else you got? Two. All right.
Likes even
Last concert you saw.
Corey Wong.
Yeah, it was actually all of us. We went to Corey Wong.
True story.
That was cool.
Fun.
It was
That was fun.
in Atlanta somewhere.
That was.
That was cool.
I mean, for one way to set this whole taking a break from live music, that was a fun show.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Yep.
All right, and we haven't done Julie. We haven't actually done you either, or me. So let's another number there.
1.
1 for Julie is going to be your very first concert.
With my parents or without them,
Very first, the very
Numero
first
uno.
BB
one.
King.
BB King.
Nice.
There you go.
Wow.
Damn. All right. For me, give me one more number.
3.
3, which is the best concert.
Gigging for Grub. Nice.
That's
They
a good
just-
one. All right. So I will have to say I'm going to do something pretty recent, and I would have to say Behemoth. Actually, was one of the best concerts I've seen recently. That was ridiculous, and that was 2 years ago. It wasn't too far away. So Behemoth. Best concert of all time would have to probably be Nightwish over at the
See that?
Tabernacle.
I saw them one time,
I don't know who that
way
is.
long time ago.
Yeah, they did the whole
The old
Is that like metal or what is that? I don't know.
Nightwish.
Yeah, I never heard.
It's like
of it.
symphonic metal. Yeah.
from
Oh, I never heard of it.
Scandinavia.
Weird.
Scandinavian metal. It's really
Oh,
good.
okay.
Yeah, they did the whole. This was in when they just broke up. Actually, it was right before it, and they did the Oceans, and it was an acoustic thing with a full band. It was intimate. It was a full It was crazy, and it was probably. And then Apocalyptica was also playing with them at the
Oh, I
time.
like it. Yeah, I
So
remember
that was
Apocalyptic cool.
between the
Yeah.
two of that was
Yeah.
amazing. That was probably all time
Yeah.
favorite. Yeah. All right,
Very cool.
Hunter,
That's good.
back to you, man. You got to give me an answer.
Honestly, if I had to say a band that I saw the most,
Well, how about intentionally or deliberately? I want to go see them. I'm going to go see them.
oh man,
Unintentionally.
actually intentionally, probably Animals as Leaders,
Cool.
That's a good one.
just because it's a brain melting experience. I've only seen them 4 times, but
That's a big number still for intentionally the plan to go to. A show.
yeah, I probably went to those shows by myself, you know,
'Cause you just wanted to go.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and I don't give a shit, so I would just go myself.
All right, and we also have Gigging for Grub, by the way, on. Thank you guys for joining
yeah.
us. Hey, welcome to the Sonic Sphere podcast. Alrighty, and so do you have any more that you want to give them, or I think we're gonna close it out with
That's fine.
choosing your isolation house.
Oh.
So this is, you're going to be stuck in an isolation house, and you've got basically 6 different houses that you can choose from. You're going to be in this house for at least 6 months. No other interaction with any other world. You're literally going to only be in this. Food provided, all that stuff, but you're going to be in this one particular location. All right, so you got to choose your house. I'm going to read them all out, and then you guys give me your number.
All right.
Number
Okay.
1 is going to be Netflix, all you want. Weighted blanket and a pantry full of snacks. Whatever snacks you want. Snacky snacks.
Yes.
Snacks. All right. Number 2 is going to be a porch swing, a fishing pond, and a fire pit. Okay. Number 3 is going to be the view of the beach. You're right on the beach. Beachfront property, a home gym, tacos and margaritas, all you want. Unlimited.
Nice.
All right, number 4 is going to be you have your own private library, a home theater built into the home, and a hot tub as big as you want out back. Number 5 is going to be a mountain view, gardens, hammock that you can rock in, and hiking trails. Number 6 is going to be your own private swimming pool, a rooftop deck, and an outdoor fireplace. All right, Jeff.
Beach.
Beach.
Hands down.
Hands down. Number
Hands down.
3, the tacos, the gym, and the beach.
And the margaritas.
Yeah.
Margaritas. All
Best
right.
feeling in the world is when
Hunter.
when the breeze comes in. These are getting bad.
You have a fade
That's
on
because
that?
it just keeps going.
And it's just
Oh wait,
like,
I meant to do dolphins.
There you go.
because they're gonna be there.
Yeah, they're gonna be there
They
with
will be.
you in the water. All right, Hunter.
I didn't realize they were all like a. So I was like tracking you as you were going. I'm like, I want this one and this one and this
Yeah.
one.
Ah,
And,
you
this
can only have one.
one. And I was like, oh shit, they're all like kind of the. It's like a package deal.
It is
Yeah.
a package deal. You gotta choose
no
the
mixing
package.
and
You
matching,
gotta
I'm
choose the
afraid.
package you want.
I usually do.
Choose your package.
Yeah, I would totally have. I would have gone with.
really
I would
good
have
at
gone with beach, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna do.
You'd be in
different.
there with him. I don't know.
I was thinking about doing these are the pump. These are
Said he
hiking
could choose his
trails and-
package.
Hiking trails, yeah. So you have the mountain view, garden hammock, and hiking trails.
I'll take it.
All right, I figured you would. That was the one I would have put you in. All right, Julie, what was yours? Beach?
Absolutely.
Beach?
I'm a surfer.
I'll take the snacks.
Snacks! You
Snacks.
He wants his sweet tea.
Yeah, at least the tea is
The biggest snacks of all, man.
Well, what he needs to know is how good is the sweet tea at all these places.
Dude,
Yeah.
he could totally
Oh,
just
yeah.
whatever.
Sweet
said-
tea
you
counts
said
as a
food- you
snack.
said food
Therefore, you get sweet
provided.
tea with the
Yeah.
snacks.
You
Food
get your
provided,
blanket,
so,
you
yeah.
watch your Netflix, and you just down a whole bunch of
Yeah.
sweet
No,
tea.
he likes sweet tea so much he get it dehydrated as a powder if possible. The guy.
And just
Yeah.
with a spoon.
Oh,
Mix this with a
Oh,
yeah,
like
goodness.
the NASA sweet tea.
yeah, oh
Put it
yeah,
in water.
like Ovaltine.
Just tear it
with
open and
scoops,
dump it
just
in.
throw- yeah.
yes.
Gross.
Also, real quick, Jim Fuller said first concert ever was Jeff Beck.
Oh, cool.
And then Santana, of course,
Oh,
in
cool.
upstate New York,
All right.
at the Saratoga Performing Arts Center.
Santana was one of
Very
my
cool.
first two. That one without my parents too.
Nice, nice. What was your first concert before we close it out?
What was it? I'm trying to think.
By the way, hi Jim.
Hi, Jim. All right,
Yeah.
What was it?
we'll come back to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it. Hold on.
What's yours? What was your first concert ever?
First ever.
Yep.
I was a bunch of no-name blues bands at a North Georgia.
All right, what's your
festival.
first like big name concert? I guess.
I think it was Black Crows.
Black Rose.
That
Okay.
is neat.
How about you?
Went to Music Midtown every year.
Oh yeah,
Every
Yeah,
year
actually,
when I
same.
was there.
actually, yeah, used in Midtown 2016. I think.
I saw Earth, Wind, and Fire there one
That was the
time.
first.
I got a concussion at Godsmack.
Ooh,
I went
boy.
2002, 3, 4
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
Man.
I got
Yeah,
dropped
it was that-
crowd surfing.
Yeah, it was actually Music
I learned
Midtown.
a
When,
lot
you,
that
when
day.
you hit your head on the ground, it sounds like somebody going.
Oh man.
That's hard.
Forever.
Yeah, yeah. And I've said this before. My first was Guar, Prong, and
That makes sense.
Slayer.
Oh God.
And this
All
was
makes
in
sense now.
1994 when the guy jumped off of the speakers and killed himself, and that was my first concert.
You seen it happen?
Yep,
Yeah.
that was brutal. And I loved Slayer, and I loved Guar coming out with socks on their ding dongs, and I was like, "What is that? That's so weird. That's interesting." And then
Very interesting.
It's either Guar or Rammstein, one of them.
I've seen Rammstein
have
actually,
too.
and
Socks on.
almost got pissed on by his fake ding dong.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then
That was very timely.
and I thought it was amazing. So there you go. I love Rammstein, and then he caught himself, and then he like lit himself on fire, and it was amazing.
Oh wow.
Meanwhile,
that's
in Russia, the Russian.
Yeah. All right,
German,
guys.
German,
well,
Germany.
yes. So that finishes up our Gauntlet of Fire.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for playing.
That
How
was
do you
quite,
feel?
That was quite the gauntlet.
Yes. it was.
If you got your fingers on that gauntlet,
How do you feel about it? How do you feel now?
I feel I need a beer about it.
So
Yes,
daunted.
we need beers.
Hunter's got a new superpower now.
So
So,
daunted.
he's
Hunter
gonna
does
keep on
have a new
using it.
superpower.
Sure.
So we are gonna mulligan this, and
He's gonna mulligan everything he wants to.
we're
from
gonna
now
go
on.
into intermission, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. You guys over in podcast land, we'll be right back, of course. But everybody else, go grab some snacks, sweet tea,
Yeah.
snacky sweet
I wish
tea,
I had
and
sweet
some
tea right now.
booze. We'll be right back. I love
Oh,
X Files.
yeah.
All right.
And now, on with the show.
All right, guys, we are back. Hit it.
I should save the beer one for that.
Yeah. Slow motion.
I'm bringing a 40 next
Yeah.
time.
Shake it up.
I'll bring some Ice House 40 or the what's the champagne of beers?
Miller.
The Miller
Miller High
champagne
Life?
of
The
beer.
highest
High
of
Life.
lives.
You can bring a High Life back. Awesome. We are back, guys, for the second half of the Sonic Sphere podcast, episode number 40. There we go. He's working it. He's figuring out what his pad does. That's what she said. All right, Julie, it is time for you to do it, your thing. Let's do your intro, and then we're going to get right into it. Alrighty.
Fair enough.
All right, Julie, what you got for us in the old school of rock and roll? Let's talk about some music history for the week.
It was this week in 1949 while we rewind. Sorry. That was a really good rewind sound, actually.
That was a good
It took
rewind.
forever for it to get to that point to where it played. Sorry.
I like it.
That was perfect, though. In 49, RCA introduced the 45 RPM record. Distribution didn't begin for another month, but this was the month they introduced it. It was the first 7-inch and played at a faster speed than the traditional 33 1/3, but also provided better sound quality. So the bass and treble was much more clear on this format, and the shellac discs were a lot tougher. It was a lot easier to break those old ones.
Sorry. It sounds like we're being invaded.
I heard the debate too.
It was like a huge, Air Force came over us.
Yeah.
All right.
It's about that time.
Need more Red Bull there?
No, I switched over.
It was this week in 57 that Bill Haley arrived in London for his first British tour. So this was in 57. So this was before the British invasion of America. This is when they were being influenced by American artists. So he actually crossed the Atlantic on the Queen Elizabeth. He sailed. And he was the first American rock star, if you will, I guess. And he was met by about 4,000 fans, a lot of them girls, at Heathrow when he walked through. Mostly thanks to a lot of promoters that actually hyped his coming as the Second Battle of Waterloo. And actually, a number of future British stars saw Haley on his tour there. One of them being Paul McCartney, who actually said the first time I really ever felt a tingle up my spine was when I saw Bill Haley in the comments on the telly. Then I went to see him live. The ticket was 24 shillings. And I was the only one of my mates who could afford one that was able to go, but I was single-minded about it, and I knew there was something going on here. Pete Townsend said the birth of rock and roll for me. Seeing Bill Haley in the comments, God, that man swung all the way back in 57.
57.
And it was in 58 this week that the Grammys started. So that began as the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. And they formed as a New York chapter, originally as a commission to, I guess, decide who was going to get their star on the Walk of Fame. And as they started going through that process of, I guess, musical merit and talent and ability and, pressing of technology and all of that, the idea of the Grammys came about. So the first annual Grammys was held simultaneously in 2 locations later that year. The Hilton in Beverly Hills in California and Park Sheraton in New York City. 28 Grammys were awarded. Ella Fitzgerald and Frank Sinatra got most of them.
Nice. As it should be.
Yeah.
Things are as they should be.
He did it his way.
That's right.
We'll talk about
Yeah,
him
we had
in a minute.
a comment too, but we can get to it after. Yeah.
You can now. It's up to you.
Oh, and it was Sarah was asking how can she tip, but
Yeah,
I don't know if you have that set up.
Oh,
so.
yeah. We haven't set that up.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. That's how you tip. All right. We'll figure it out. I get it working. I think I have to attach a PayPal or something. I think that's how that works.
Donate one whole husky puppy.
I got one you can have.
I was like, no.
Oh, dang, Hunter.
No.
I'm gonna get cash ready when I get home.
Yeah, you're gonna be in trouble when you get home. That's not
Thank
when he
you.
gets home.
Right when you walk in.
Yeah.
Dang. 59, this was the day that the music died. That was the plane crash that contained Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and J.P. Richardson, known as the Big Bopper.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy Holly was only 22, Richie Valens was only 17.
Wow.
I didn't realize he was that young.
And
Yeah,
then that-
yeah, it was quick for him.
So I think that song, American Pie. Is
Yes,
about
yeah,
that.
yep, we're about to get to that. And of course, their pilot also was killed. And they were hopping from one show to another. The story goes that the heater in the bus was broken, and Buddy Holly was basically like, forget this, I'm not, And he chartered a plane. And then Richie Valens actually flipped another guitar player for the seat because the flu had been going around and he was sick and he didn't want to sit on that cold bus. And he won the coin toss, but I guess lost his life. It's pretty sad. You can see about that. The movie La Bamba actually chronicles that whole series of events as well as a lot of Richie Valens' life.
Yep, and we have Grand Nash kept his Bill Haley ticket laminated in his wallet forever.
Oh, wow.
From Seth Hill, who is
That's
a wealth
very
of knowledge.
cool.
Yeah, very cool.
And so that plane was going from Clear Lake, Iowa, to Moorhead, North Dakota. They had a 24-date tour called the Winter Dance Party, 24 days straight, no breaks. So the plane ride probably looked pretty attractive at the time. Holly assembled a band consisting of Waylon Jennings, Tommy Alsop, and that's who lost the coin toss to Richie Valens, and Carl Bunch with Frankie Sardo.
Did he lose it?
He won.
Yeah, no, that's tragic.
Of course, and that is where the Day the Music Died actually, comes from, the Don McLean song.
Which, by the way, if you've ever played the bass line to American Pie, it's pretty hard. It's
actually not easy.
7-minute version right now.
You would not expect it to be that hard. I was surprised.
I never really listened to
yeah,
the bass,
that's the thing. So next time you guys listen to American Pie, just really listen to the bass,
I get 14 minutes,
it's
so.
totally different from the entire song.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that.
Cool.
Not to get too off course, but I remember reading about this song a while ago, and I guess Don McLean was like a folk dude, so he played everything like folky. And I forget whoever produced the actual song. He took it to him, and he was like, "No, you need bass and drums." So they found like jazz musicians. So if you listen to the bass and the drum line, it's pretty bananas.
Like,
And that's what makes the song so cool, though.
It's so weird and random, and there was no budget.
I never noticed that.
Yeah,
Must be far back in the
because he was like a folk guy, but he was like, "This is gonna have any legs unless you
want this
put
sound
like
effect.
drums and bass to it."
I want that any day I want in that budget.
It is really crazy, and you listen to the bass and drums, and it totally is like almost like it was added on some other song. It is not even.
That's
it
crazy.
works. It's amazing.
I'm gonna have to listen to that
But
next time.
one of the hardest bass lines too, because you have to stretch. It's literally like 4 7 9 4 5 7 9 4 3 2 1 9 5 7. It is like it's some crazy. It's some crazy stuff, man.
I'm learning now.
Next time
Yes.
it comes out, I'm gonna have to,
So go
like, pay
learn that
attention.
if you guys want to see some crazy
Yeah,
bass
it's
lines.
look it up. It's pretty wild. Like it went from being like a folk song about the the Day the Music Died to this whole song that ended up on the radio and it's still played today, which is a lot of folk songs in that period never made it that far.
Yeah.
So something to think about.
It is too. Another interesting fact about that is they did not stop the tour because of the plane crash, even though Buddy Holly was the headliner. So they, Jimmy Clanton and Frankie Avalon were actually asked to take his place,
Remember that, yeah.
Huh.
and they continued the very next day after they were called and told of what happened.
Show's gotta go on.
Yeah. 1959 at Texas Instruments. This is not about the calculators. Well, actually it is because we wouldn't have it without it.
And it isn't, but it
Jack
is.
Kilby patents the integrated circuit. For a lot of technical jargon, an integrated circuit is formed in a small piece of semiconducting material performing the same function as a larger circuit made from discrete components. Integrated circuits are a combination of diodes, microprocessors, and transistors in a minimized form on a wafer made of silicon. In regular people terms, this began the trend of miniaturization in technology and electronic sound and music, from electronic musical instruments, effects, signal processors, mixers, anything else that helps musicians create music.
Yeah.
All of our pedals, all of our everything.
Yeah. I mean, it was literally like putting the computer into something that was handheld,
Yes,
which was the idea of like sort of like putting.
because the computers used to be as big as this table.
Yeah. Yep.
And ran on tubes.
And round tubes.
Giant tape reels.
And tape reels. So,
Huge magnetic tape reels.
interestingly enough, my grandfather, I believe, has a patent for the original punch cards for the computers.
That's kind of cool.
Very cool.
And my grandmother went to DC, bringing them this idea of the idea of the punch cards and all this stuff in a suitcase made out of a modified sewing machine. Essentially to
Dang, cool. To
bring
punch
this
the
to
cards,
them.
yeah.
To punch the cards. And so so unfortunately, as of this week, I lost my grandmother.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, but
This week?
Sorry to hear that.
yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
How old was she?
she was a good 98, 99. So
That's excellent.
Yeah, so good life. But we'll definitely miss Ginny Schustrom, one of my favorite grandmothers, my last grandmothers. But yeah, so very interesting. Like all that kind of coincides, like with the early computers and stuff, and being able to kind of let us do this, which is crazy.
It's true.
Yeah.
They're just trying to get all of our information and store it in the big banks, and
That's it.
and then they're gonna take it.
just wanted to
It's
use that
gonna
sound
upload it to the thing, and then it's gonna go to the other
The
thing.
stuff. And
Yeah.
Where's my tinfoil hat?
Yeah, nah, well, there you go. So when we start our alternative podcast for called the Tin Hats,
10 hats.
and have you on,
Oh, that's segue. Hey, I didn't even know what I was doing there.
we're gonna have that on. So yeah, all right. So what else you got, Julie?
1960, this was the week that Frank Sinatra launched his own label because he wanted one that was fully artist owned, and it was the first fully artist owned label. Reprise Records, that is how it's pronounced, Reprise, so that he can own his own masters, because before then, basically, you didn't own your own stuff, and he was pretty sick and tired of it, so he did something about it. Some of his cohorts, including Dean Martin and Rosemary Clooney, joined the label right away, which he sold to Warner Brothers at a premium 3 years later, and it became home to a number of famous acts over the years, including Jimi Hendrix, Joni Mitchell, and Green Day, which we'll talk about later.
Cool.
We'll talk about some Green Day. Whoop, whoop.
neat.
27 years ago and last night.
1966, the first magazine dedicated specifically to rock and roll was not the Rolling Stone. It was Crawdaddy. It was published by Polly Williams in New York City. Crawdaddy was basically the training ground for a lot of rock journalists, just finding the language to describe rock and roll. Remember, this was 1966. In contrast to the Rolling Stone, who actually didn't put out their first issue until 18 months later out in California, is acknowledged as the first serious publication devoted to rock and roll news and criticism. The magazine is
and criticism.
Slide it in.
Yeah, slide it in.
Slide it in.
Wow. Now it's what, news, fashion or something? It's like music and fashion. What's they've modified that since.
It's the original
yeah.
MTV.
Yeah.
Stock trading.
So they were already a contrast to Rolling Stone by being
Via
by
Reddit.
just covering rock and roll artists, where basically the Rolling Stone came out of the gate as a critic. Then magazine was actually named after the legendary Crawdaddy Club in England, where the Rolling Stones played their first gig. Though
I was gonna say, where did that name come from?
that's where they got
absurd.
it. It makes you think they're from Louisiana, but they're not. And it was known over the years for its well-written, insightful profiles, particularly musicians, but also they got into some filmmaking too, and comedians and other entertainment. Some of the big names: Sly Stone, Bob Marley, The Who, Eric Clapton, The Rolling Stones, Mel Brooks, John Belushi, Jack Nicholson, Greg Allman, Muhammad Ali, Joni Mitchell, Bonnie Raitt, Lindy Ronstadt, Roxy Music, Little Feat, George Carlin, Randy Newman, Paul Butterfield, Brian Eno, and Roy Orbison all interviewed with Crawdaddy.
Like how you slid in
yeah.
Belushi in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Randy Newman.
Randy Newman.
And right before it was over, also Jimmy Page, they had a big interview about his address in California, and his kind of thing with the occult that he had going on there was one of the last things they did in '79 too.
Good old 79.
Yeah. And that's when the publication stopped. And they diversified, so the company didn't end, but they stopped.
Yeah, I was thinking somebody
print
bought
journalism.
them, but so they
Yeah.
just kind of.
They diversified. Into Some Album, 69 gave us Cream and Goodbye. It was their fourth and final album. Obviously, being titled Goodbye, they knew they were done. The decision to disband had been made before the release of their previous album, Wheels of Fire. That's because Eric Clapton was ready to go his own way.
And on his own way he went.
Yep.
His own thing.
71, I didn't realize this until I was looking at album anniversaries.
Okay.
Did you know who it was that recorded backup vocals to Heart of Gold for Neil Young? Because I didn't.
Oh, I think I've heard it. I can't
Joni
remember.
Mitchell?
No, close, but no.
Huh.
It was Linda Ronstadt and James Taylor.
Oh, that's
I
right.
didn't
Yeah,
know
heard that. Yeah.
Well, that if you listen to like or
It
the
sounds
James
just like
Taylor his thing,
Yeah.
like there's a whole bunch of shit about there about Neil Young in there. But that
So
makes sense.
it was this week in '71 that they made that recording, and it was also this week in '72 that Neil Young released Heart of Gold on his Harvest record. So two things for him.
The Harvest is a big deal.
Yeah. In 1973, NBC debuted the Midnight Special. So did you guys know where the show got its name? Obviously from the song. The American folk song. The Midnight Special is actually the name of a train That's what the song is about.
Yeah.
It's the train that you get on when you're getting released from prison finally. May the midnight special shines ever love and light on me. I'm getting out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so like it was a show for up and coming
Simpler
artists
times.
that were getting out. You know.
When there was only one train to get out.
Simpler times,
Yeah.
yes.
That song was made famous maybe by Lead Belly, but it was really just an American folk song. So of course, Burt Sugarman was the producer and the presenter for the show,
Well, Bert.
and was noted for featuring musical acts and performing live, which at the time wasn't really a thing. Most people lip sync their shows. That's what had been going on until then.
Yeah.
These were all live performances.
Which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, we will talk about that later.
Super.
So John Denver was actually the very first guest, but he did a pilot show the summer prior, and when they decided it was going to be successful, they scheduled it to air the following winter, and then Helen Reedy was the first guest for the series. 76 gave us Black Sabbath, Who Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll, the compilation that was released without the band's permission.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good times.
When they switched over to NIMS for their label,
Simpler times.
Simpler times.
they got access to all of their back catalog, and I guess just did it one day while they were sleeping.
Yeah, they were like, you don't want to? That doesn't really matter.
I don't really care.
Yeah, nothing matters.
I never
your
asked
souls
you.
belong to us.
You signed that paper, didn't you? Yes, you did.
Yeah, so here we go. Boom.
77 brought us Rumors, Fleetwood Mac. It was actually their 11th studio album. They'd been at it for a minute, but this is actually when they literally hit gold. And that LP actually sets a record for most weeks at number one, still, I think, with 31, and became one of the best-selling albums of all time. Worldwide sales are estimated currently at about 40 million, I think.
And they had a whole
That's a lot.
resurgence, which we talked about.
Yeah,
which,
TikTok.
With TikTok, kind of
Oh, yeah.
bringing,
The guy with the drink.
The guy with the drinking
what was
the.
It wasn't grapefruit. It was.
He's drinking something.
No, it was
he's
the
on
ocean
his-
spray cranberry.
Yeah,
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 and
that's
then
what
they
it
brought
was.
back,
Ocean
and then
Spray, and
they
it-
brought back that was it Dreams? It wasn't
Dreams, yeah. So
Okay,
Dreams
yeah.
hit the charts again.
And then they had one the drummer Mick Fleetwood did one, and then
Yeah.
So they say that TikTok brings back a lot of songs. Like if
It
you
was
go
a cool
back.
video. I can
Yeah.
imagine if I did it, I'd end up with a broken nose and heartburn.
But you would have millions of views.
Yeah,
For that reason.
and that guy's famous too. The first guy that did it. The guy
Yeah.
that was on the skateboard. Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy how much TikTok is.
Oh yeah, it influences a lot of. Like, they go back and listen to old music and stuff, and it's just cool.
So to make the album, they all got together, and their mission was to make a pop album that was going to be popular, and obviously they succeeded. From what I've read, it was a few weeks of a lot of cocaine.
And a lot of
Such a simpler
a
time.
lot of drama.
Yeah.
What time?
Simpler
A lot of
time.
drama.
In 1979, Stephen Stills records the first major label album using all digital equipment, but he doesn't get credit for it because he didn't release it. Talking about what was made available to everyone with the integrated circuit earlier, which means that just a month later, Ry Cooder actually gets that credit with Bop Till You Drop to get that honor for the first all digital recording.
Go on.
What's going on over there?
I'm answering the
I
questions.
mean, they're making like a lot of noise.
Did anybody
over there.
see what Seth said about Graham Nash and all that stuff? You
He
said it earlier.
Yeah,
I
he
did,
said
I
Tom
did,
Petty
yeah.
went to record.
Yeah.
I believe in the day the music died,
I've
plane
been
crash was
keeping it up.
convenient.
Yeah.
That's what Seth
Yeah,
said.
I've been keeping it in there and up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom was on some tin hat shit for sure. Good old Tom.
A few things happened in 1980. That was Pink Floyd's The Wall tour. They kicked that off in Los Angeles. Only did 31 shows because it was a giant production. I mean, if you've seen the films, obviously. And that was all about Roger Waters and the rest of the band's feeling of alienation between performers and audiences, hence The Wall. It was a very expensive show to do. So only 31
Which
days.
the jock straps later we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Also have that story.
1980 marked AC/DC's last appearance with Bon Scott, and that was actually on Top of the Pops, where they performed A Touch Too Much, and it was 12 days later that they found him dead, unfortunately. Some sad stuff.
Probably a hell of a night.
Yeah.
One night at
Yeah. 81 brought us Killer's Iron
Simpler
Maiden,
times.
their second studio album. That one actually, did you know that it was actually almost exclusively written by Steve Harris?
Did not know that.
Basically, he only had help with Twilight Zone.
Huh?
And that was it.
Yeah, exactly.
'81 brought us Moving Pictures. That was their 8th studio album and best-selling to date. And I'm glad they gave us Tom Sawyer, YYZ, and Limelight.
Oh yeah.
'83 was the year that Karen Carpenter died. This week from heartbeat irregularities brought on by imbalances associated with her anorexia, which is a very sad story. But a lot of positive things did come out of that because upon her death, I mean, really, her family continued the work after her to raise, I guess, the awareness of eating disorders because they weren't really talked about at that time. And a lot of
they're
funds
still not talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's reason for
Well,
that.
much less than. They were almost unknown.
What?
Yeah.
You gotta eat.
Yeah.
Gotta eat
Checkers.
pizza.
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 Amy, you probably want to
Short
talk
and
about Alice in Chains, don't you?
No, I actually don't have Alice in Chains. I have a couple others, but
Sap came out this week.
oh shit. Oh,
They're mostly acoustic album, and that was the first time that Jerry Cantrell sang a song by himself with Brother. I always thought that was really cool. I kind of like.
I can only imagine why he's singing by himself.
Yeah.
Probably couldn't get a certain singer to do anything.
Probably not.
yeah.
The
It's
EP
it's an underrated album.
Yes, forgotten
yeah.
about because there's a lot less Lane on it.
But actually, it's got vocals on it by Ann Wilson from Hard and Chris Cornell.
Oh yeah.
And Mark
Oh, wow.
Arnold Mudhoney. So it was more than just
cool.
them.
What was the song they did with Ian?
Yeah, so one of the when we do the tribute the '90s grunge thing, one of the bands that we play with, they do one off this. They do like 2 or 3 off of this album, and they actually have a Chris Cornell Soundgarden tribute that come up and actually do the song with them through that, and it's really cool.
They did a throwback with Jerry Cantrell and Sammy Hagar did that part, and it was all acoustic. And it was really, really cool because
It's crazy. By the way, if you guys are Chris Cornell fans, if you guys listen to the last podcast, we have more Chris Cornell Volume 2 coming out. So you can expect more from Chris Cornell.
92, Nirvana, Hormoning. 4 of the songs Hormoning were covers,
Yes.
which hadn't been released before. And the remaining 2 they were Nirvana originals, which previously appeared as B-sides on Nevermind.
Yep.
So followed that up. And then 94, you were excited about Green Day, weren't you, Amy?
I am.
Yeah.
That's when Dookie
Brought
came
us
out.
Dookie. And
That's
speaking
right.
of Reprise Records, that was what they released it on. That was Frank Sinatra's label.
Yeah, they did. Well, I mean,
how do you say it?
Reprise. Reprise,
Reprise.
sorry.
Yeah.
You got me.
Reprise Records.
You
Yeah.
had to put that I in there just to be a
I'm
jerk.
telling you, yeah.
Reprise.
Well, they
He's a
put
progressive
out,
guy.
Yeah.
So they're originally on Lookout Records, and
This was their 3rd album, but first on a major
Right.
label, which was Reprise.
well, they put that out. So
Yeah.
they did a show though. They switched to this. They're like, well, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. Let's do it big time. So they switched over to this record, this major label, basically, because it's always been independent records. Let's do independent records, whatever. So they end up moving over to Reprise, and they caught their attention. Of course, they had worked with Rob Cavallo, who had worked with a band called the Muffs. Now the Muffs were basically like they wanted that sound, and so that's why they went to basically working with this record. And so they did, and they started working with the record company, and they did a couple shows back at the 924 Gilman Street, which is kind of where they first got their start. And basically, their original fans turned their backs on them. They literally didn't show up to that show. There was nobody in the crowd when they played that show after they had basically moved over to Reprise. So it's very interesting that they did that. And then, of course, February 1st, 1994, that's when they released the album. And that's when they put out Longview as the first single that came out. And, of course, it's kind of funny. So there's this whole bass line concept of where basically, that bass line that's very quintessential, like Longview bass line. He was basically like, I was on LSD when I wrote that.
Oh, Brain Stew.
Yeah, he was like, I had no clue, and he actually had to learn how to
It sounds
actually
like drugs.
play it sober.
It sounds like drugs.
Yeah, because he was like, I had no idea where I came. I just came up with it at the time, forgot it, and he actually had to learn how
Simpler
to,
times.
You talking about
how
Brains?
to rewrite it. Yeah.
That was Brains too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from
so-
Dirt. Yeah. So then, of course, once they got all that, Armstrong then wrote the lyrics out of course, about boredom and basically masturbation. Simpler times. Simpler times. So and of course
That's all
they
I got.
put it on MTV, and the song went up to #1.
That's the one with the chromatic.
That's
For a
for
long time, I thought they ripped off Led Zeppelin.
No, well, maybe. I mean, it was all in a LSD stew.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So they did that. They basically a year later they got Grammys for it, of course, and for best hard rock performance for Welcome to Paradise, of course, came out second. That's the second single. So they had a bunch of singles off of this. Of course, Basket Case comes out off of this as well.
Oh,
Whole bunch of ones. Yeah. Basically, yeah, he's just basically like, when all is said and done, Dookie peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 2000, went on to reach diamond certification for shipping of 10 million copies and received Grammy for Best Alternative Music Album of 1995. And there you go, Billy Joe, and they are still rocking and rolling actually as of Friday or Saturday of this week to kick off the Super Bowl. So.
Oh, cool.
We actually had the Green Day tribute
The
coming
really
here and play.
big bowl, Amy. The really big bowl.
Right, Letterbomb?
Yep, Letterbomb
Yeah,
came in
Letterbomb.
here. Did
It's
a-
actually what's happening in chat right now. People are talking about.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah,
Super
cool. Letterbomb, and then
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna talk about that. But yeah, so they kind of kicked off the Super Bowl stuff. So one thing I love
Big
about
bowl.
Green Day is that they never stopped and they adapted. I mean, people could say what they will about them. Of course, punk is hard. You know, if you kind of, you're signed to a major label, well, F you. You know,
Yeah.
so I get that, and they kind of were like, well, we'll take that, and we're here, so let's run with it. Let's do something now that we've made this decision, and let's do something big. So I'll give it to him, man. He is not young. He is still. They're still putting album and records out. So hell yeah, they're still playing on some big stages.
And he has some of the best, like, drunk rants on stage, or like.
He does.
Maybe he wasn't drunk. There was a really funny. I think Jeff actually showed this to me, where he was just like tore into the crowd, like
He does, yeah.
like, frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cut his set down during what was it? This I can't remember.
We always throw back
all award show.
like musician meltdowns back and forth in their chats
Yeah.
because
one of the best is Billy Joel.
Oh, Billy Joel's our
Oh,
favorite.
yeah, with the piano.
Oh man.
let me do my show.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah,
Good light in the crowd.
quit letting the audience.
That's right. So Green Day, big deal. Dookie was one of the albums that really launched them, I think, into the popular
It was the
music,
one that launched them,
essentially.
obviously.
And it was the first one that I kind of was introduced. So it was a
The
big deal.
only
for
album
me.
I ever bought
Yep, that's the only one I bought from them on tape.
or stole.
On
Yeah.
tape. On
Yeah.
tape.
I
Yep,
remember
bought
tape.
that on
Mine
tape.
was a compact disc.
Yeah, bought it on tape. And I even have the shirt from 1994, 95 of that album
Cool.
when they came through. So
It's probably worth money.
I have some old vintage stuff from like
You'd
92
be
through
surprised.
96.
You'd
Yeah.
be surprised.
So I've got a bunch of pumpkin stuff and nobody cares, but I got stuff from their very first Gish album even. That's
Definitely worth
something.
stuff. Yeah, gift stuff's
Yeah.
cool.
Alrighty, what else you got, Julie?
97 brought us Offspring coming back with their fourth studio album, X-Nay on the Ombre. I know it's probably one of your favorites too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love it.
That was following up to their 94 breakthrough smash, and that was actually their first sign to a major label. Also, they got onto Columbia the year prior in '96. 98, Judas Priest's Rob Halford comes out as gay for the first time in the open. In an interview with MTV. Now, it's not like it was a big surprise, but it was a big surprise because you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's Rob Halford. And all I would really say about it later is that I feel that this was the moment to discuss it. And he said a lot of homophobia still exists in the music world, and I wanted to disperse it as best as I could.
Good call on this part.
Yeah.
It was a big deal when it came out.
Nice.
And it was back in 1998, too, which wasn't really talked about as much then. So,
Right. Well,
he
it's
was
98.
still brave to do it.
Yeah.
98 brought us Yield from Pearl Jam. That was their fifth studio album, and I think what sets it apart from Vitalogy or No Code is it was a group project.
Yeah.
Eddie Vedder kind of did a lot of the writing before that, and it was really split evenly in this one, and I think it's a cool album too.
Right. Well, they kind of changed how they wrote and approached
Oh yeah.
songwriting.
I mean, I hit the wall with Vitalogy. I was like, I'm off. I jumped off the train.
Yeah.
I never really listened to Yield. I know it's out there.
Yeah, and this is kind of when they started, though. This is kind of when they started to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
With this
It's
album.
like the new stuff.
It
Like,
is. It's
They're
the new
their new stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that it was a lot of post burnout for Eddie Vedder too, to have some teammates again, for sure. It was this week in 2002 that Stevie Wonder got to sing "Happy Birthday" to Rosa Parks.
Nice.
It was really cool.
Also,
Nice.
real quick, did you
Good
get
timing.
the Three Doors Down in 2000?
Oh yeah, I forgot. You can go ahead.
Yeah, so the Three Doors Down, of course,
trying to
break
use the
out
time.
with The Better Life, which they came out with 2000. And of course, this is a time when we had all the new metal was happening, all that great stuff.
It happened.
Yeah, power punk and emo had kind of, emo was starting to come out, power punk was starting to kind of go in the back. And yeah, so February 8th, 2000, Three Doors Down released this album. And of course, this is when like sort of NSYNC and Britney Spears and Eminem was kind of big. And yeah, so it was interesting that it was the drummer singing, of course, and he kind of put out Kryptonite. And that's when that was a big deal for them, of course. And the EP, of course, came out that included, was their breakout single, Kryptonite. Unfortunately, that was actually kind of too popular. So it was sort of like, are you a one-hit wonder? And so that's when they came out with Loser, which is kind of their other thing that came out and said, okay, no, you're not. That spent a chart record 21 weeks. Loser spent 21 weeks at number 1 on the charts, on the mainstream rock charts. So they rode that success. They kept doing shows with them. And they've done a bunch of stuff. They started the Better Life Foundation in 2004. So these guys did a little bit more, kind of like how a lot of rock stars and rock groups are doing stuff now. And they did, basically, they raised money to help with Hurricane Katrina aftermath. Awesome. So they did that whole thing. And after 3 years, since the year since its release, this album has been certified 7 times platinum. It was the 46th biggest selling album in the 2000s total. And it basically, they started to continue to put out more and more albums and more singles after that, of course. And so 2000, they were kind of at the top. So
That's awesome.
so that's a big deal for them coming out with that. For sure, man. I know Kryptonite was a big thing when I heard it come out. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is
And
this?"
then every cover band played it.
Yeah, then it got
And
overplayed.
Still do.
That
Overplayed.
qualifies as the
But-
song list of what is it? The songs that make white people get
$100,
Whatever.
$100
It's
start.
like the Wonderwall of the 2000s or something.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
the $100 starting for
Yeah.
us to play that song.
Yeah.
it's no Freebird, but it's close.
Yeah. Yep. All right. What else you got?
So after that, in 2002, that was when Stevie Wonder sang "Happy Birthday" to Rosa Parks on her 89th birthday, at the premiere for the made-for-TV movie "Ride to Freedom," the Rosa Parks story. It's a pretty cool thing for him to get to do, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2002, Kurt Hammett of Metallica was the first recipient of the annual Hall of Fame award in Guitar World magazine. He wasn't expecting it at all. He actually said it totally took him by surprise. Especially since our profile had been kind of low lately and it's been very non-musical. What Hammett was referring to is this: at the time he was given the award, Metallica hadn't really put out an album in 3 years. The last one at that point had been S&M, and just certainly not an LP. They'll be described as a typical Metallica album, and most of the news they've been making had been about either their position on Napster, and the departure of Jason Newsted, or the vocalist James Hetfield entering rehab. So it wasn't all about music at that time for him, so he was kind of shocked to get it, I guess. In other words, I guess even though it's supposed to be the music that matters, Metallica's music was almost never coming up in conversation anymore, at least not with the media anyway.
Right.
Nonetheless, when all the votes were in and the tally was huge, he came in on top, ahead of Eric Clapton and ahead of Jimi Hendrix and ahead
Crazy.
of a lot of people. So he was actually really flattered and impressed and a bit shocked and dumbfounded. And he also had to add, there's a little bit of why me in there too, for good measure.
And they just played too Super Bowl.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that. They're on Stephen Colbert. They were on that for the first time, playing live in a long time. Also featured on a Ford commercial. First time
Ford
Metallica has allowed them to play one of their songs on a
Oh.
advertisement.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Big leagues.
Yeah. Big leagues. Simpler times.
Simpler times.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Is a Ford Raptor F-150,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
That's what we got for this week.
All right, man. That was Julie's old school of rock and roll. Hope you guys learned a little bit.
I learned a lot. Man.
Yeah, we need some sound effects. What you got over there,
You
man?
know what?
It's probably gonna be the dolphin or something.
We can
I
always...
wasn't on deck for this. Yeah, no.
Oh, no. We can help for it, though, you know.
Well, that doesn't really work.
Well, Jaws, okay.
What about? All right, no.
Amy just wants me to get eaten by a shark. She gives me shark things.
Yes, and real quick to add on to that, of course, 7 years ago, Behemoth released their masterpiece, The Satanist. If you guys are into Behemoth, like I said, 2014, considered one of the best metal albums of the 2010s. I know Hunter is going to argue with me on that one a little bit.
Metal!
Metal for the masses.
Where was that with the daycare joke?
Yes.
Here comes the
So,
band. Yay!
so anyways, yeah. So basically, of course, this comes after Adam Nargol Darsky had been labeled as an evil by the Polish government.
Which is a stretch for the Polish, you know.
Right, Polish government basically had labeled him as whatever. He had been in court for years fighting blasphemy charges, essentially, and then finally these blasphemy charges worked their way up to the Supreme Court. Okay, this is the Supreme Court in Poland. He ripped a Bible to pieces on stage in the middle of a Supreme Court hearing, and he said, "This is a book of lies." Also, of course, he was diagnosed at the time with lymphoma cancer, but and then he was publicly fighting the disease. He appeared on The Voice of Poland. Who knew they had The Voice of Poland? But he
All
was
metal.
he was a judge.
All metal all the time.
Yeah. So, as a Satanist on national television. He became the country's most vilified and controversial feature. Of course, they kind of backed off after some time because they're like, they're successful. Okay, they're being successful. It's funny because they actually put a study out that studied this, which I'm impressed with, found that he went from being mentioned just 61 times by the Polish media as a Satanist and vile throughout 2009 to almost 3,000 times in 2011.
Whatever works, people. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway,
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
all
We know
of that set the stage.
No, there's not.
Right. So all of this set the stage for them to basically write this album called The Satanist in 2014. Basically at the end of the 21st century, he'd actually gotten a better life. He had beaten cancer, and he was victorious over the Polish government. Stuck it to him, and got Best Metal Album of the Decade.
So was,
I have nothing worth like refuting any of that evidence or information. I'm gonna let that shit roll.
Meanwhile, in Poland.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, in Poland.
Poland. Alrighty, so that brings us to our second half part. Pause. Hit the pause button, which is the current news that's going on right now in
we
music.
also had before we do that we had two questions from Sarah Nova.
We gotta wait 40 seconds for this. Sorry.
She did.
Sarah Nova had a couple.
She
questions.
has some good questions.
If you want to read them, I can answer them.
all right,
I can try to
sis.
answer the first one.
Beers are piling up.
Jim Fuller said that.
They're not. They're not.
They are not.
They're just
All right.
Yinglings. It's
All
no
right.
big deal, you know.
When is the Riot's next show? When you
It's,
guys-
it's actually gonna be the
On the 12th,
The Roswell.
we actually
Yeah.
started a whole other series on our. It's like, I
you
feel
don't
like-
have anything better to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Start
So
a
we don't have
company in a
time,
day
yeah.
or so.
Yeah.
We have this thing called Atlanta Rocks, which is kind of like where we showcase a lot of the venues that are out there supporting live music right now, which Lord knows we need more of that right now. And we'd like to take, we basically go out there with the cameras, we film it, and we perform at it, or we have other friends of ours perform at it, and we showcase the talents of those people on a stage in front of these people. Basically, the thing is we go out there, we focus on the food that the bar is serving. We focus on the specialty drinks. The staff, the management, the people that put
The
all this
cheese
together.
dip.
People who fight in the corner of the musicians.
Sweet tea.
And so this on the 12th, we'll be at
Loyal Tavern.
Yeah, Loyal
Thanks,
Tavern
guys.
in
Downtown Roswell. And we will have some, probably an awesome bunch of folks there. We are playing, so that's reason enough for you to go there. And I don't know if anybody caught that, but yes, this is PMG, but PMG also is a working band called The Riot. You can find us on Instagram and other places. But yeah, Loyal Tavern, downtown Roswell. It will be cool, and there will be cameras there rolling. So if you want to come have a good time, maybe make a fool of yourself on camera, do it.
Yeah.
We just filmed our first pilot episode for it, so hopefully we have two great hosts, Dave McPherson and Tommy McNulty. Hope you guys are watching. I know Dave is over in Mexico right now, so he's taking a little R&R before the big day. So on the 12th, we should see a lot of performers come out and we did it at Red Pepper on a Tuesday night at Brookhaven. Not more than a month ago. Was their best-selling night. A lot of people showed up, and it was a Tuesday. I can't believe we beat their Fridays and Saturdays.
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
It goes down on a Tuesday during a pandemic.
What happens on a Tuesday?
And then the other one she had was what was the most memorable promo shoot at PMG? You think Elton John maybe?
You know, honestly,
Well, I don't know.
okay, we have to tell the story.
Okay.
So
It's a very squeaky chair.
yeah, you know, it helps it's the suspense that's about to build up to
Do
the
you
story.
all hear all that?
Hold on, let me get you guys closer to this.
There we go. That's excellent.
I don't know how I feel about this situation.
All right, so anywho, yeah. So a vendor of rental equipment here in Atlanta, who shall remain nameless, dropped the ball on renting us a piano shelf. We had a client come in. Elton John tribute guy had to have a piano shelf. That's part of the shtick. You know, you can't be Elton John on a keyboard. It doesn't work
No.
with
Yeah.
that. You know, it's Elton John. You got to be able to
You
do.
need like the baby grand.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to be able to do handstands in the thing. You know.
You gotta do the kick. And everything.
And
The kick.
Yeah, you do.
and God bless Craig, the guy who he works so hard at what he does, and he's so awesome at what he does. And if you really close your eyes, you can hardly tell it's not Elton when you listen to him.
Yeah.
And he's got a great tribute show. Anyway, so we want to make sure that everybody gets taken care of. You know, I put my heart and soul into this, and everybody else here does too. We had an opportunity to work with Craig, and Craig had to have this piano show. Well, because of COVID and because of some other situations, the rental company bailed on us the day of.
Yeah.
So we had to figure out how we're going to get a piano show.
Yep.
And Steve, if you're watching, man, I got a big shout outs to our buddy over across the way.
62 screws.
62 Screws. He makes custom furniture, custom cabinets, everything in between. He is an ace at everything. Now, I will tell you this. I wish I could show you this, but outside I have the harp from the piano, the big cast iron plate from the piano sitting outside the door right now. Because we got in there with angle grinders and cut that thing out.
Yeah.
We literally took a grand piano from the 1940s that we managed to find down the street. The guy charges $700 for it,
Oh wow.
and it was
I usually get my pianos for free on
Well,
the side of the room.
in the moment of we had to get it.
But
we
that's
had to do it.
impressive.
Now, I've never taken apart a piano before in my life. I don't know what I was doing.
Oh, yeah.
But between me
wish you
and
could see.
Scotty and
Steve, yeah.
Steve,
Man.
we were in here with angle grinders, cutting the thing up, shooting sparks as high as the ceiling goes. We have 14 foot ceilings here. And
Which,
we had,
by the way, Jim Fuller, you know all about this. We spent 2 weeks cutting up that 1865
We
German
still have a
upright.
piano harp outside. Like,
no,
Yep.
you think the upright was fun? Try the whole grand.
Ooh, man.
Whole
I
grand.
mean, it was 2 weeks of grinding.
I think
Yeah.
we bought like a 40s grand. and then
We bought a
had
40s,
to- had to take
40s
it
grand
apart.
and took the
Nice.
whole thing apart. And it was, we managed to get it done about
think-
7 minutes before Craig walked in.
I think it was 11 or 12 was when we got it, and the guy was coming at like 3 o'clock. So like as soon as he walked in, he went to change. We was like, we're almost done.
Yeah,
We're with an angle grinder.
Literally, as he's walking through, we're shooting
Yes.
piano strings on the walls, on the
Yeah.
ceilings, and
I wish we could show the video.
man, it was so
He's got a
great.
video of it
the great! I tell you what, I'll tag it in the comments if I
I was
can.
gonna say tag it in the
Yeah.
comments.
If you can
We'll-
leave a video comment, that'd be great. But
yeah, I know.
that was a trip. That was a
able
stress, biting all our fingernails, but we pulled
Oh,
it
man.
off, and we'll do it for anybody who comes to
Yeah,
the door.
and actually the video. Well, he has a promo he did with mixed with our stuff and other things, but it's on the website. Now he may have put the. I don't know if he put the full show up or not, but you can see some of the stuff on the website and our YouTube also. Still on there. So.
Nice.
Everybody who comes in here is our favorite performer, I think.
Yeah.
We had a local blues band here.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
So they wrote an original song, and I had to mix it, and I got so addicted to the song after I've heard it a million times.
Yeah.
Because mixing it, you get involved in it. You try to find the emotion in it and bring it out. And Thunder Gypsy is the name of the local band. They play kind of around town, and
that's your neck of the woods. Yeah, the keys player, he owns.
I can't remember his name. But
he owns not the Moonshine, near the Moonshine.
Yeah, he's
Shadow.
music trader over there in Tucker. Yeah,
super nice guy. They're all really nice people. Yeah, for sure.
And it was fun to get to work on that project, and they're actually performing their song, or they're submitting their song for a blues festival.
Yeah,
and I hope they win, because it was, like I said, I heard it about 18,000 times trying to mix it and make sure everything was right, and then by the time I got done with it, I really dig the song. It's really great.
There you go. Nice. Do we have any other questions?
She said, "Oh no, don't pick a favorite." She just wanted to hear a crazy story.
Thunder Gypsy is the name of the band.
That was a crazy story.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I by the way, that piano is at my house now.
I was wondering where it was. I saw it once.
We still have a piano harp out there if anybody wants one.
Yeah, if anybody wants it.
I named another harp.
Actually, if you have a harp, I'll take it.
Yeah.
You have to see that bar that Jim built. It's got the harp mounted in the wall.
It's in the wall. It's 600 pounds mounted to my retaining wall of my basement.
Well, I will tell you, you can come and get all 600 pounds of our harp.
This one, this one was the 1865 upright German, and it's hand stenciled and signed and hand leased.
What was
that
one was like American made Chicago or something?
Yeah, it's I can't remember the name of the brand, but you know what? Tell you what,
it's big and heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll actually come take it. It took us literally 2 days to get it onto something that could haul the thing, and then it took us 2 weeks.
Well, if anybody wants it, then we got a full cast iron piano harp.
Awesome, I'll take it. Nobody else can have it.
That's right.
We actually had them come and deliver it, because they had to have a dolly, or they put it upright.
It is, we had to have an engine block.
They had a truck with a truck with a tailgate that comes down, and they had to put the leg on, and it was just
to move it.
We had them do it. Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how light it is without all that stuff in it.
Yeah, and this one's attached to. Mine was attached to the soundboard, which made it the really heavy.
That's kind of like
this
one.
We got.
We had to I think we had to grind.
So when it's attached to the soundboard, that makes it, and it's cast iron, all cast iron.
So you cut all the strings back, and you have to pull all of the pins out, and then you can detach the soundboard. And man, what a trip!
We didn't attach it. We actually have the soundboard and the whole harp attached to the wall, which is why it was so much. Yeah,
that was a trip.
Yeah,
that was definitely a trip.
Awesome.
Well, it's out there.
No, there you go. All right. So because we are moving along on time here, and thank you guys for all sticking with us. We actually had a lot of viewers hanging out with us the whole time, so this is awesome. So real quick, I didn't really want to have to go into this, but the story has mushroomed.
It sure has.
Some crazy
mushroom
thing.
Crazy word, Amy.
So like a week ago, I saw this in the news. Of course, this is actress Evan Rachel Wood. Finally, actually comes out and officially names Marilyn Manson as her abuser.
That was good, Jeff. That was really good.
Oh God.
So we do have to kind of get into this, because this has kind of progressed into the point where he's been dropped from his label.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of Marilyn Manson.
It's like never been a fan of this.
Well, yeah.
All right. So she had kind of already talked about an abuser, but never named it. It was an anonymous abuser. Never officially named him, but now has actually come out a week ago, officially named this as an abuser. So she did it on Instagram. So you want to talk about also like
making the most damage.
Yeah, so like platforms where, like artists are using, such as Twitter and in Instagram. This is one of it's very interesting how we're so digital in a lot of how we put things out and how we look and what we look, artists especially. So this kind of, to me, goes back to that a lot as
Sarah
well.
said Marilyn seems like a nice boy.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that. There's so much to this, of course. So, I mean, she writes in depth about what happened and about all the things she kind of had to go through. And unfortunately, there's been several women as well that have, come forward with this, as well as other artists who have collaborated this. So, of course, he denies it. So we'll get into that. There's a lot, so you can just kind of read through it, of course. So what are some of the things that she said is he asked her to take off all her clothes, take a shower in front of it, and the second time he broke a wine glass in the hotel room and demanded that they made a blood pact together, and he cut both of her hands with broken glass. So
Totally normal.
Where do you draw the line? Like,
there's a lot of stuff that goes
times.
on with this. Yeah, simpler times. And then even his former personal assistant says, yeah, basically this happened, and that he basically broke her, quote unquote. So this whole thing about this, unfortunately for him, because it looks like there's a lot of fallout from this. Of course, dropped by the label and the agent. He was dropped by CAA, which is basically the agency representing him, as well as his label, Loma Vista Recordings, that's also dropped him. All right, so that's that. Okay, so he responds back, and he basically says it was entirely consensual. All right, with like-minded partners.
Okay.
So yeah, and he's being obviously misrepresentative. And then, so it goes into all of that, of course. And then we have even further, he gets basically scrapped from TV roles. He basically loses all his roles that
Wait, he
are
had roles?
upcoming. Yeah, he did.
I've never seen him in TV.
He did. So he had roles in both the Starz American Gods. That's now been scrapped.
I never watched.
And then Shudder's Creep Show have also been canceled.
Sounds like something you would
for
do.
it. Yeah.
Get him.
So American
Get 'em.
Gods is a big deal. That's been a book
American-
that they made into a big series. Yeah, so that was pretty big. And there's a whole bunch of other women who, of course, have now collaborated this.
Collaborated.
Did you see Sarah?
Corroborated?
Collaborated.
Look at
Colostomated.
Yeah. And then, of course, even goes up to the state senate. So the state senator calls an FBI investigation of him. This goes even further. Like I said, this just
He must have.
really, yeah.
It goes deeper than what we're seeing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, hey,
Like,
that's
this just
why you
started
should
really
never
going.
abuse another person. Like,
I mean,
Hey, you know, it's funny if you. Well, it's not really funny. It's kind of gross. I don't mean to cut you off, but if you ever watch him, he gets in a fight with his guitar player on stage. He's doing like these the can kicks, and he kicks the guitar player, and the guitar player like swings at him, like knocks his ass down. It's pretty good. Like
it's a show.
yeah, but I mean, like a lot of artists and even his own band have kind of collaborated with a lot of this. So following the allegations, obviously the U.S. Department of Justice and the FBI investigate him. And the proposal, of course, was sent because of the Instagram thing. And so there's that. Okay, so then his ex, Dita Von Teese, which is one of my favorite people, of course. Dita Von Teese. If you don't know who that is, go look her up. She does burlesque.
Oh,
Yeah, she does all that.
I thought it was makeup.
I thought it was makeup. Is it makeup?
She probably has a makeup thing.
No, I
as
think
well.
I think she had one. And they canceled her too. Well, I have to. No,
Yeah,
wait,
go
maybe I'm
look
wrong.
it
Maybe
up.
I'm
Go
wrong.
look
Maybe
it
I'm wrong.
up. But anyway, so she's the ex-wife, of course, and she basically offered a statement. So you can read that on her social media, of course. And she said he thought that basically that his infidelity and drug use led to their eventual split.
Who would have known?
Yeah, and she's a model and burlesque dancer. They, of course, met when she was asked to dance for one of his videos, so that's how they originally met. So she kind of spoke out, and they have support. They have voiced their support for the actress. Trent Reznor even got involved in all of this, of course. Issued a statement condemning the musician and calling out whatever he says is a fabrication in Manson's biography relating to alleged experience with an intoxicated woman, which is said he's condemning that. So this, like I said, this keeps getting crazier
I'm
and
sure it will.
crazier
He was
and
a
crazier.
big deal in the 90s.
So manager of 25 years severs ties. His manager even severs ties with him. He's been there for 25 years. He severs ties as well as Optep Shamna, of course, abused. She says that his current wife is also getting abused right now. So
You are canceled.
I guess sweet dreams are made of this.
You are canceled for being a piece of shit.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
We need to work on this backdrop. We should just put like the people that were up there and like put like little animations of them getting like
Little X's on
Yeah.
faces.
Yeah.
and you're out of
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
So
shame
we
this
should do
person.
that.
And you're out.
Yeah,
There
you're
you
done. You're
go.
fucking
Marilyn
done.
Manson, you done fucked up. There's
Get help,
my-
buddy.
The one we get. That's it.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
And
it.
you're not gonna ever listen to this, but
Probably not. You never know. But anyways, that really sucks. But yeah, just don't do that shit. All right. So we got to keep moving on, though. Of course, Maynard James Keenan from Tool is in the hospital for a second time with, guess what? Infected with COVID-19 again.
How?
How does he twice?
Twice. Yeah. So yeah, he's again his extreme. So
Sorry,
yeah,
it's
he's
not
actually
funny.
in the
Comedic
emergency room.
relief.
Damn.
So
What a schism.
yeah, his symptoms were apparently really bad. He's in the emergency room right now. And of course he had already kind of went through this in October of 2020. We talked
Wow.
about this, of course.
Yeah.
And there is, of course, from that 2020 infection, he had residual lung damage
Wow.
from it, which affected his singing and breathing. There you go. Yeah. He also had the inflammation that comes along with it, which is in the wrists and the hands. So also,
That's
Oh, man.
another. I never heard of that.
I
one.
didn't never heard of
yeah,
that. That's new
I've
symptom.
actually had that. I have that as well.
Really?
So yeah. So there's the whole thing, of course, and so.
Damn.
We're praying for you,
Sucks.
of course. Hopefully you get better and recover. But yeah, he's in the emergency room, so that's the biggest thing on that. All right. Okay. And so the next thing was sort of Children of Bodom. We talked about this 2 weeks ago, I think. And Alexei Alejo, of course, kind of laid to rest. People from all around the world kind of went on and said their goodbyes. But it's now come out that this entire thing was a sham. It was a fake funeral, and somebody used a GoFundMe to actually fund this whole thing. So
What?
It's crazy.
So
All
how
right.
did the actual funeral occur?
All right. So let's
Meanwhile,
talk
in
about-
Europe.
right. Meanwhile in Europe. All right. So Alexei, of course, the founder of Children of Bodom, legendary guitar player, he lives laid to rest in a private funeral service at his home over in Finland. Recently, and he was only, of course, 41 at the time of his death. So there's
What did he die from again? Heart attack or something?
they not really said. They said he had ongoing health problems.
Drugs.
They've never officially rolled. He led a pretty heavy life. We talked about this, a lot of the partying and the drugs and what it meant to be a rock star and kind of living that life. And so the widow. Okay, so this is kind of confusing because it really involves two women who are still married to him.
Oh wow.
At the same time.
I was gonna say. Meanwhile, in Europe.
Yeah. All right. So okay.
It was a
So
thing in Finland.
the musician's widow. So this is Kelly Wright Liho. So she basically shared two photos from the service on Instagram. The first being a service program, and then the second one being a sideshow post of the sort of the casket positioned in front of a Christian altar. And then Wright, of course, she wrote, although Shelby and I were reunited, I was able to be there physically when they buried him and share this heartbreaking day. So basically what ended up happening was that Kimberly Goss, who has spoken out about this, is the widow also. So there's two widows.
What the hell?
So yeah.
I'm still very confused.
Kimberly.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kimberly Goss, who was legally married to him. Okay, so Kimberly Goss was legally married to him by Finnish law at the time
Okay.
of his death.
So who's this other person?
Okay. She has spoken out against the widow who performed this whole funeral, Kelly Wright Leho. According to Goss, of course, this is an illegal funeral because she has no rights to bury him.
So by what process did she believe she was married to him?
So,
Finnish
and
law.
then she also, yeah,
That was the other one.
Basically, I'm gonna get to that. So there's a whole thing with that.
Watch out.
So basically, she even put out a
Show 'em
GoFundMe
crack.
campaign to pay for his funeral.
What?
Because it was a sham.
I mean,
And she's not
yeah.
really married.
So okay, so
Does he know that she thought that she was married to him?
this is like a mess. All right,
Does
so
he know she was married?
basically, Alexi had
Was he
married.
aware?
So basically, Alexi had married Goss in 2002, but the couple separated 2 years later. According to them, they were never actually legally divorced. So even with Finland laws stating that a divorce can be granted without a two-party consent.
Meanwhile, in Europe.
Yep. So, according to Finnish law, the estate of the deceased must cover the expenses of the funeral, meaning that Goss, the surviving spouse, was actually supposed to pay for the funeral.
The legal
costs.
spouse.
Yeah. So, however, of course, this other lady went in and said, no, I'm going to do it. Put a GoFundMe out to get money to be able to pay for the funeral. And buried him.
I need like some Common Core math equivalency to understand.
So he
what the
never
heck
went
is
through
using.
divorcing the first wife.
Yeah, he never actually divorced her fully.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, and then Goss basically is like, F this, and puts out a statement and pretty much rips into Kelly. So there's this whole thing with all of this going
This
on.
bitch.
Yeah, this bitch. So anyways, all right. So moving on, we have, of course, Tetrarch. I want to talk about them real quick because they have already put out one album. They're about to put out a second album. Congratulations, guys. Of course, Tetrarch, if you haven't heard them, they put out the album Freak in 2017, and they're already ready to put out another album. They're breaking all the rules. So very excited about this. And of course, Diamond, I love you. So represent, man, women, guitar players, fierce women, and African-American women playing guitars and rocking it. So hell yeah. So go check it out. They've already got a video out, music video out. So go check it out called You Never Listen. So go follow that. And they're out on Napalm. They signed to Napalm recently. So congrats to these guys. So I always want to talk about them, women in music, and supporting that. So very awesome.
And in podcasting too. I just gotta say, you guys have like a whole dossier over here. Look at this. Look at this. You guys do you do this every week?
We do it every week.
You do this
Yep.
every week.
Every
Mine's
week.
just on my MacBook, but yeah, I have the same length over here.
Yeah, every week we do
Putting the
this.
work in.
Yeah, step our game up.
Yes, sir.
Let's hear it for everybody. Okay, you guys do a killer job, an
Thank you.
incredible job.
Thank you. So the final thing is that we have to talk about the Super Bowl.
The really big bowl.
I know, the really big bowl. I know
Super.
you guys are not sports ball fans necessarily.
Not
I
necessarily.
watched the first half, and I turned it off before the.
I've played Madden
Time.
before.
I watched the one team lose, yeah.
Yeah.
So even if you watched the game or not, which
watched Brady's
we
7th
knew
ring.
was going to happen, and it happened. Okay, it was
Some
pretty
sport
crazy.
balls got thrown around, and
Some
somebody won,
sports
somebody
balls
lost.
happen.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
All right, so what I always like to talk about is the music half of this because it's actually one of the biggest shows
Oh yeah.
of the year. If
Yep.
you really look at the music half of this thing, forget the ball.
I think the average. They said the average production is like 10 million or something.
And
for
the artists don't make any
halftime
money
show.
off of it.
yeah.
Average.
Yeah.
So a couple things.
That's
The
we'll get to
weekend
that.
didn't make. They said the weekend didn't make any money. He
Well,
actually,
that's
he actually
normal.
paid $7 million
That's
of his own
typical.
money.
Right,
to
so
put
we'll get to
towards
that. All right, so first
the
off,
choreography.
let me just kind of go around and see what y'all thought of the halftime show.
So I had to watch it on a cell phone. So I don't know if I really got the full immersion that I was looking for. And much like what we're talking about here at PMG, we'd want to give you the best video equipment to do what you need to do to deliver the emotional impact. And I feel like watching it on little screens and little cameras and little webcams
Right.
is not the best delivery sometimes.
But there was barely anybody in the stands, so
Well-
it was meant to be watched that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Which
right.
was
Because
interesting.
yeah, because they had like where you submit your photo to like a car.
You pay
cardboard cutout.
$100. You pay $100, and you can get your.
It wasn't a real
photo
person.
As you printed out.
They only had a couple people in the stands, but it was like you
Yeah.
sent your photo and your cardboard
It's
cutout.
weird.
Just sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
But that being said, we'll say more. But what are your?
Oh, I mean, I just like there was some cut scenes where he enters. He's performing out in front of the crowd, and then all of a sudden he exits or he enters into this thing. And
Yeah,
he's doing
like
this
the
whole
maze
like
thing.
where
The
he's holding the
maze.
camera like
Yeah.
this and doing the
Yeah.
maze. With the,
Yeah.
And I almost wanted to say like, how are you really understand? How are you sure that he's actually performing when he's inside the little box? Because nobody's
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
Nobody's there. You
Think
know,
of the camera guy. Like
You know, I mean, just saying like that took a
Yeah.
lot of choreography
You
to
have to
pull
see
off,
it,
and
yeah.
I'm just wondering if and as a person who does, well, as we all do video, it almost felt like it was like a cutscene, and I don't really understand. Like everything else has been so wide open, big production, and I think the other thing is like every other performance, they always have these trained audience that are like in the front row, like then they're like, yeah, right, doing this whole thing,
for sure.
and that's part of the whole production of it too. They hire a crowd, I think, and it just feels, I don't know. I mean, there's been so many great ones. It's hard to live up to that. I don't know. This one just felt like it was kind of a little short for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I love The Weeknd. Don't get me wrong. I love the music. I think it's great. It didn't hit. It was just weird.
Didn't hit something. Yeah. So I mean, I honestly I didn't know who The Weeknd was. I'm gonna say I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand.
There was a cool story
pop
though.
music,
They said 10 years ago he was actually 10 years ago he was actually homeless. So for 10 years from being homeless, 10
he's
years
pretty
to doing the
new,
halftime
so
show.
we'll go into that. So
That's kinda cool.
2010. So it's interesting his story. So I did some research. I looked it up. So originally he kind of started in 2010. So he's not somebody that has this decades-long career with anything.
Yeah, he's new.
And he basically just did mixtapes. He literally put a bunch of mixtapes out on YouTube and just kept doing that. And caught the attention of a couple people down the road being like, okay, this is kind of unique and different. And it's basically kind of like what they say is his dark style of R&B and sort of how he like was unnamed, sort of this unidentified person when he was doing the YouTube stuff. And so that kind of piqued people's interest. Of course, in 2012, he signed with Republic Records. So you're not talking about that long ago.
Yeah.
If you think about this. And
Dreams
then
come true.
Yeah.
yeah, so and he re-released basically these mixtapes as a compilation album called Trilogy. And then he actually put out a debut studio album called Kissland, but that wasn't until 2013. So that came out. He put a bunch more out. He's pretty much been pretty prolific. In 2015, he put the next one out. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I was reading through his things that he won. He won 3 Grammy Awards, 5 American Music Awards, 9 Billboard Music Awards, 2 MTV Music Awards, 9 Juno Awards, and nominated for an Academy Award.
Well,
I mean,
and being that the fact that he's 30,
it's crazy, yeah.
I had no idea.
And he's from Canada, so Canadian.
Dang old Canadians.
only thing I did by 30 is 120 cats.
There you
Nice.
go. Yeah, so very interesting. So I was like, all right, well, let's see what's going on. I mean, for me, it was interesting. I feel like what he had done differently outside of this was better. In some ways, like I feel like this was just kind of like lackluster a little bit in the performance, like from what I expected.
But you don't
this to
think
kind of
like
be.
any kind of the atmosphere that we're living in right now and just like the duress of the average viewer and all that stuff had anything to do with the way you perceived his performance to be? Or was it really just like that, not that good?
That's the question that I had, because the crowd usually gives a lot of hype, and I would say like for the show, the
Right.
production was
Crowd.
excellent.
Well, they talk exactly.
But I'm
There's
saying
no
with
crowd.
the Sands this year crowd. But
Well,
like normally-
so a couple things. First off is like a lot of people criticize the fact that all he had to do was get out of a car. Whereas normally, like what was it? J-Lo had to
funny.
do a pole dance. Katy Perry had to ride a lion. I mean, so they were kind of like,
Wait, oh yeah, that's right.
yeah,
She did.
right.
Wait, that happened?
So it's interesting. So they kind of whatever, but I'm like,
Didn't somebody like fly in on
Yeah,
like
Pink, I think. No, she didn't do that.
an upside down
Yeah.
Or the
or
lady,
something?
the Lady Gaga jump.
Yeah, Lady Gaga did. She did
Right,
that too.
right. So I don't know. So they, of course, I think it was like the production was huge, like visually
was.
stimulating. But I will say there was a lot of complaint about when he went into the maze and the quick actions that were happening.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of
they
people.
Yeah,
didn't
there's
quite
already
understand
gifts.
Like, oh,
I was super drunk,
already gifts
and I
about it.
was like,
There's already gifts, yeah.
already?
They're like, one of us like when you
sure.
FaceTime
yeah,
you drunk for
I didn't really understand that
Yeah.
part. I have
When
to
you're
say.
drunk and you FaceTime.
That was the one part that kind of felt. I mean, I get it. It was neat, but
Yeah. And then the other part, of course, is the jock straps on the face.
Yeah, that was.
Very odd.
we have to talk
It looked-
about
yeah, it looked just
that.
like it. No,
I
it-
get it. I
have to
can't feel my
talk
face
about
when I'm
that.
But it looked- yeah, it
like,
looked just
why
like
the
those,
jock
like he-
strap on the face?
And I think he.
about a song about cocaine.
So, of course, now I gotta find it. Okay, so the whole jock straps on the face though were
Incorporating masks.
according to him. Now this is that there you go. According to him, this is why he did it. So for you guys that want to know, so apparently, so the couple things. So he basically said that the significance of the entire, he called them head bandages, not jock straps. Okay,
because he had plastic surgery or whatever.
Yep, was reflecting on the absurd culture of Hollywood celebrityness and the people manipulating themselves for superficial reasons to be pleased and validated, which is where that whole part came from. So that's where that came from. Yep. And of course you have the advertisement, which Pepsi was the only sponsor for the advertisement for the halftime show, and he reportedly spent $7 million on his own performance to play there.
Yo, wind that back for a second. This is a game. This is a game. You throw the football. People eat a lot of food. You get kind of a little tipsy. Read that one more time.
Which one?
What you just said, like the purpose of that.
The purpose of it
Yes.
was the significance of the entire head bandages was to reflect on the absurd culture of Hollywood celebrity and people manipulating themselves for superficial reasons to be pleased and validated.
Wow.
There you go.
I'm just here to watch a game.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in Hollywood,
I didn't even want to watch the game.
Like, I mean,
So that's
props
cool.
for that guy for thinking outside the box. I mean, really outside the box.
I mean, that's gutsy.
But
Yeah,
then, you take that and you still put it in a
It's
jock
gutsy.
strap on the face. You know,
Yeah.
It's
Just a little-
gutsy, though. I
gotta
mean,
put it somewhere, I guess.
kinda-
Yeah, but he had the same
Sure it
bandage on
does.
a couple weeks ago because he did a plastic surgery and they were making fun of his face, like how
Oh,
it looked
yeah.
weird, he looked different. So he had some
Yeah.
kind of surgery.
I'm just saying, you went so far that way, you ended up that way. It just,
it was weird. I will say though, I did appreciate a couple things. One is that we saw more people of color, African Americans, involved in that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was,
choreography
that
was
was
cool.
really
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
The
And
dancers,
it's a lot of choreography. Yeah.
the fiddle violin players. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing was awesome. We also have to talk, of course, about her
oh, that was
playing
killer.
the
that was-
America the Beautiful. And her shred on bringing rock back almost and to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, God
Somebody got-
forbid Rock comes back.
So she basically pulled out her strat and basically did a patriotic performance of America the Beautiful. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. It's
Oh.
amazing.
You can't really put that in rock. I don't know. Like, watching it, see, there's so much, like, that was a lot more than just, power chords and guitar solos. That was like, I mean, these kind of chords.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that going on.
Yeah, no.
And being musicians, I mean, I feel like we have to kind of push the boundaries of whatever. It feels like all these genres are, like, getting put into the big stew now. And it just kind of, that's what we
We
get.
are putting it in the big stew, right? But
Yeah.
there's still this argument of, like, is rock coming back or not? So
Well,
it's kind of
It's
something.
not going to
that-
look like you think it looked.
Well, there you go. I think to me that's
I mean,
rock,
look at
but
who
not
won the
like what it looks like.
best rock record the last couple of years. I think it was like Imagine Dragons or something.
Yeah.
Hey,
they
listen
did.
to it. It's
They
like
did.
trap
Nice.
beats and whatnot.
They did, but I will say one thing that reminded me
Whatever.
of
Imagine Dragons.
remind me
The cabinet.
of The Weeknd actually was like his ability, like kind of Steve Perry vocals, man. Like he looked.
I
me-
have to be 100% truthful here. I have not seen the performance.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch it either.
I
That
spent
is
Sunday working, and then my girlfriend and I, Sarah, went out and got dinner, and then I watched the end of the game, and then we went home and went to bed. I didn't see any of the game. I watched a team lose.
Yeah. I mean, none of the teams are my team anyway, so I wasn't really.
I was hoping they both would lose, but that's tasteless.
Yeah, they didn't. But
I hope that
anyways,
too, but it's never
It's
happened.
never gonna work. Yeah, it's
this is actually
not sports work.
this is dividing like everybody. I mean, it's almost down the line. It's interesting.
Really?
Like it's interesting. So, definitely, yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Man. I'm just kind of half and half on that.
Well, you only had to put up with it for 8-9 minutes, so.
It was 14 minutes.
Oh,
It was
wow.
pretty long. It was long. A lot of people are like, I don't understand why he was doing what he was doing at the first thing. I didn't even recognize the songs throughout the whole thing.
No, I knew all the songs. I love
yeah.
his stuff, but I mean, it was, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to live up to the best of the best out there,
Oh yeah.
You
right.
set that bar pretty high.
That's right. So, but I mean, he is like I think the youngest to perform or something like at the Super Bowl or something like that.
I could believe that.
And just I mean, it's a big deal. But also putting his own money. I mean, like they're expected to the reap the rewards is enough for them to not be paid to go play the Super Bowl.
Well, in that case, if he paid for it his own self, then whatever artistic development he wanted to put out there, then that's on him. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it totally was.
If
I
it
mean, all of
backfires,
that
He'll probably get more than the $7 million
Yeah.
put in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's what they were talking about, like literally like
Long game.
sales and downloads and whatever. So
Yeah, it's a
Like
long
he did a
play.
pregame. I was watching it because I had a gig that night, and they had it on the background. But he had a thing with James Corden, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it was funny. I think it was
At the time. I think it was funny.
simple times. All right.
Simpler times.
All right. So we're.
Yes.
All right. Well, we are actually out of time for this Sonic Sphere podcast tonight. Thank you guys for joining us out there in podcast land. Of course, all you guys out there in YouTube's land, the use of the tubes. Again, we are here with PMG Studios. PMG Studios. Thank you guys, Scotty Polk, Hunter Cook, and Jeff Wright.
My name
Of
is
course,
Jeff.
I am your host, Amy Epperly, Platinum Viking.
And I'm Julie Tew.
Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you guys for coming out and hanging out with us.
yeah.
We hope to have you guys back anytime.
All right, and check us out. This episode, of course, will come back out edited for your viewing and enjoyment with all the sound effects included on Thursday. And then our very next episode will be back on Monday. We are going to be back in the studio at the G Spot, so the garage spot. And yep, we're going to. I
He's like,
right off the top of my head, I can't remember, but
wait.
we do have some out-of-state guests I'm pretty excited about getting to, and we're going to rock and roll.
And y'all tip these guys if you can. I don't know if you guys have any.
We will
link for
set that up. We don't
Please
have
do.
that right up.
Yes,
Please do.
Subscribe, like,
That's gonna
follow,
say.
set
I'm taking that
notifications.
hat, and they need to replace it. You're not getting that hat back.
That's the best thing
Yeah.
that you guys can do. Of course, if you like what we do, subscribe, like, and follow. That helps us know that you like what we do, and we can keep doing it. And hopefully take this on the road and keep doing bigger, better, crazier things with more sound effects.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because
please.
we're going to hire this guy
Because I enjoy
just
it.
to hit the button.
He's a great button for sure.
That's my
Exactly.
jam.
Exactly.
All right, guys. I will see you guys on the upside. Any final words, Scotty, you want to give to the people?
I guess just follow. You can find, just like you said, find us on Facebook. I think it's PMG Studios, and then we have a website. It's PMG Studios ATO.com. Yeah, it's hard to remember.
This is past Scotty's bedtime.
Yeah,
He-
Taco
he's-
Bell time.
he's-
Party words
It's
is
talking about time.
take care of your bedtime.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining
It must
us
be
and
tea.
rocking with us this
Yeah.
late.
Yes.
Julie, what you got?
Good night. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a week.
Hunter, smashy smash. What you got?
Make sure you support Amy for what she's doing. She's done a lot of these, and she's been doing it for a year, and it's really
and we
awesome.
turned 40.
Yeah,
We're
lordy,
old.
lordy.
We're old
Thank you
now.
for tuning in, for sure.
We're old now. Jeff, what you got?
Just the dolphin all day long.
I like that one too.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Are we still live or no?
We are still live, but you can go.
Oh no, I'm good.
Once Jeff gets done hitting all the buttons.
Yo, I want
We'll
to hit
say
them
good
all.
night as soon
All
as
right.
Jeff is ready.
Once Jeff's ready. All right, guys, and as always,
That doesn't get old.
I'm gonna leave that as that. Take it to the top and